I'm back. Can you hear me? Hello, chat. Are we 1080p now? Have I solved it? Should I have the troubleshooting prowess to crack this one? I did it quickly though, so I probably fucked something else up. But you know, we can just keep restarting the stream. It's not a problem. Can we get 1440? Yeah, 1080-60 now. Fuck, we've done it. We've done it.
Thanks for the help.
I'm sure you've been asked a million times, how do you think Juno will affect the meta when she comes out? I've actually not been asked a million times. I don't really know. It doesn't really feel like she has maybe a clearly defined role. I don't know if she really feels like a Lucio replacement. But I've not really seen it in any matches or anything, right? So, I don't know. I don't see what you would do with her. That wouldn't just be better with a Lucio, potentially. I don't know how she actually feels, you know? Like, what happens if you, like, dive her or something? How killable does she feel, you know? What's the Hammer Cup? It's like, it's just a tournament between some Korean and Chinese teams. I can bring up the bracket. Where are we going? I think it's Hammer Cup 7. 7. You think it's weak as fuck right now?
我们回到比赛，我们可以看到 CC 选择了混
$1,000
推的
for
地图
first
是
place.
新马尔德，也就是昨天他们战胜 OP 的那一场地图。
So we lost a part. Team CC won a dogfight against Vesta? Fuck me. Are Vesta just eternally
换下了
cursed?
白罗水，换上了他们的副坦 Jasmine， 也
Eternally fucking cursed.
要不要再换上长枪 Prong 的呢？刚才 Prong 的在小马里4院的发挥不可谓之不准呀，可太可怕了那个黑百合。 CC 的话，他们之前官宣的名单里，我记得是有 Gaga 的。不过现在的话，似乎 Gaga 的更多的是转向了幕后，为他们提供一些第三视角的这种。
The speed is so slow.
现在所以 CC
yeah. When I was using it, I mean, it's just dicking around. A classic just dick around and test in practice range, but it didn't feel particularly quick or particularly useful, really. So I'm not quite sure what they were hoping for its purpose to be. I was kind of, like, when I saw it, in my head, I kind of thought it would be like, I don't know, you have them in like, I was going to say like Total Wipeout or something, but maybe that's too old a reference for people. But you know those racing games, or like Sonic or something, and you go over the fucking go faster things, and you just go fucking whoom, you just zoom, you know? I was expecting it to function a bit more like a cannon, if I'm being honest. That's what I was actually hoping for. That would operate like some kind of fucking speed cannon and launch you across the map.
如果是换上副坦，然后继续去打他们仇贼玩家 J5 这个双自由人组合的话，应该 是要和 CC 碰一碰这一套。
Is Total Wipeout? No, I'm pretty sure there was a game called like Total Wipeout or something.
不是很好用，地形比较开阔。
Maybe it is also a TV show. Hold on.
而且也没有办法为队友提供相应的保护。
Maybe I'm confusing the name. Video game.
这就是真刀真枪的干了，这没什么好说的啦。
Yeah, it's just called Wipeout. It's not called Total Wipeout. Here it is. As you can see, it might be quite dated.
也不排除另一种可能性。
Yeah, thank you, Razzle Dazzle. Yeah.
比如说 Poker Face 想玩一套迪瓦黑刀，前2天玩的迪瓦黑刀。
And this is like one of the original. It's just like I guess like a futuristic racer. But it was like a speed boost and stuff. So that's kind of how I was envisioning Juno's little speed boost thing going. Like you just jump through it, and you fucking zoom. You have to jump over like 4 different jump over the entire map. 95. Yeah, I can't remember which one I played. Might have been Wipeout 3 to be fair, but I probably before a lot of your births as well. Any 99ers?
咱们这一次的比赛是 first
Are we getting a new pred?
先拿4分者为上。
Probably, right? I mean, surely
Oh,
Chibi's good enough at her job to
比赛开始
sort it out.
所以现在
I've
2
got faith in
比
her.
1，需要先到3分的那一方才会拿到赛点，先拿4分才能获
Who
胜。
won? Poker
然
Face won.
后大家肯定就会产生疑问，那5个地图类型，如果打过5张地
Did I
图之
build
后，
for
后面的
pyramids?
图会
Did
怎么
not
选？
build for
答案是
pyramids,
后面的
no.
图可以任意选，可以在之前的5个地图类型里
What do you
任意
mean
选。
I'm cooked?
所以在之后，如果能
You're
打过
cooked,
5张
Haddy.
的话，比赛还会充满了变数。现在还仅仅只是进行到了2比1。哎，一说 first to four 就会让我们想起很多在
Two min
过
pred.
去
I mean, it's just gonna be
OWL 赛
poker
场
face all
上
the way,
的
right?
经典的天王山之战。像上
You
海
have
龙
some
打
scrim
首
codes
尔
of
的
some
让三
teams,
对
but
四
I don't really want to
等等
leak them since it's so close to Esports World Cup.
而今天
It's
我
the
们
best thing
又
to
将
do.
看到一
Yeah, just
场
don't leak them.
应该来
Don't
说
leak
目前
them.
来看还是
Wait,
非
which
常
team
激烈
is
的
it?
first to four 的对决，由我们来自中国的5名中国选手，他们曾经在职业赛场上驰骋，也
Which team
曾
is it,
经
Fix?
失意，但如今重新集结，各自有着不同的身份，但是起
This
的
is
还是
G.
曾经那个队名儿。又一次站在了这里，而 Poker Face 的
GB
话
knows?
也同
Wait,
样
GB,
是之
tell me.
前 OWL 退下来的很多选手配合新组的队员。
Who are these teams? You can see the Team CC. It's like Deer, Pineapple. You can see the English names here. I don't think the quality is good enough, but it's Deer, Pineapple, DPS, Legion, a tank, and then Super Rich and
话，
Farway
一
on
哥把他
support.
的扎利亚掏出来了。
Wait, Haddy, you also have scrim codes, but I don't really want to leak them since it's so close to
他们
Esports
拿
World
这
Cup.
套
Is the
可
best
能是
thing
为
to
了
do.
冲对方的 Diva， 但发现对方是一套西格玛，所以
It's not
自己
leaking.
又
Haddy,
回
whose
到
codes do you have?
Diva Echo 裂空，毕竟刚才冲他的长压塔小锤效果是不错的。J5侧线压力有点大，闪现撞个墙，哎，回来吃口血包。正面线已经是拦不住 CC 进场了 ，CC 逐渐往点内去走。先往前
Peps?
落位，
Oh,
面
get
对
some
对方
Peps
长压塔对
codes
阵
going,
这个
Haddy.
时候
I'm sure they
第一
won't
压的
mind.
突然掉点，似乎是被
I'm sure
对方
Peps won't
天上
mind
扔下
one
的
bit.
连弹命中，需要撤退一波 CC， 等下人。不过
If there's one thing Peps are always
好准的
on
左
board
键，尤
with,
其我们注意到 Pineapple 身上是套到了长压塔的
it's
一
having
伤
their
的。
scrim codes leaked.
这里 Poker Face 它这个
They
双
actually
斧
got
有
scrims.
缺点也有优点啊，缺点是大家
Oh yeah,
显
like
而易见
spoken
可以
with
看
Peps
到
and they don't mind.
要是论持续治疗量的话，确实不是很多，但是优点的话也很明显。一方面是输出量比较
Yeah,
足
but，
长
for
压
you
塔有一
Fix,
伤。
I wouldn't leak
另一
him.
方
Not
面
this
就
close
是我
to,
们可
not
以发
this
现
close
Poker
to an
Face 有
event.
2个辅助，它都是指向性的。
I feel like as well if you've got them as well, there's illicit
不过
means
先
of
来
gonna
关注到这
play
波团
rather
战，这一轮的冲
than
连
rather
已经是把
than
Simple
some
飞
player
秒
just
了
fat
已经
fingering it
趴
while
了，这俩人已
streaming.
经没了。再抓掉 Jasmine， 场上只剩下 Poker Face 的双 C。球队万掉。
When SSG win EWC, remember this message.
28、27、26、
Thank you, DD, PIOP.
54、53、52。
I'll remember this message. Is that 6 months as well? Are you the first 6-monther, DD?
好了，好。回来，我们说双拖手奶就是
In that case, you're selling it for £100 per code.
只要把球和甲发出去，他们就可以忙自己的事儿。这样的话，裂空和 Echo 吃到的
Yeah, I
资源
think
会
you're.
更加
Have
自由。
I feel like you're the first endorsement level 4 person I've seen in
去
chat.
推车，但抽好友前
I think
进
he
有
might
点
be.
晚，不过问题不大。先把脚下大都
CX
抢了下来，
buy
但
him.
是 Poker Face
I will
做的应对
not be
很大
buying these
，J5
scrim codes.
去把一层的车做了一个卡住，来到房间里想要去冲 Simple 的长压塔，但这一轮效果好吗？好友前补的伤害非常的及时。 回头离哥吃掉了J5的脉冲炸弹。
Anyone got a TGS scrim codes? I can reliably inform you, Archie. Now, I don't think even the members of TGS have a TGS scrim code at the moment. So those would be particularly hard to
应该不是
find.
什么大问题，刚说完他就掉了，他没有交出这个变身来。抽德万这个机甲还压了下来，把离哥压成了半血。这里 CC 的车才刚刚开始推。
You subbed right when I got partner. Yeah, you might be first through the post, dude.
他能够成功换甲吗？可以成功换甲，人
We
头
just
还在激烈
getting-
的互换。这个时候 Simple 已经反场。
Surely Zenbrig is not the
慢慢地
optimal
往
pick
前
here.
带这个阵容。
Surely Poker Face.
哦，这里 Pineapple 复活过
Not
来，
buying
变出一
this.
手 Diva， 想要向前去打，但是血线确实不太理想。Fixa
Look, the double support ult, which means they've traded copy for double support ult. Poker Face are truly fucked after this fight.
但我有点没有太看清。不过可以确定的是，这一轮 CC DR
How has Dia been playing? Obviously, honestly, not been super locked in so far. I'm locking in now, though. We were on scuff settings for
这一轮刚才
Colosseo.
Poker Face 强势是正常
But
的，
now
毕
for
竟他们
Icon
有
World
圣
with
家叠甲。但是这一次就不好说了 ，CC 手里有一个鹰杖，只要能够成功的定位到长牙塔和布里塔的位置。好，这里我们注意到 Poker Face 做了一轮换家，也就是你要冲我的辅助可以，但你的车别想着推。
Gonna beat push into Spore. They're quite far back already, actually, though.
再冲过来
At
拉
least he's
到
gonna
了
go super
CC
deep.
家里的
They
小
do
房
kill
间。
Simple.
这样的打架就是确实是 Poker Face
You just have to feel the Lucio carry
打架
swap
的
is
地方是
happening
在车以
right
外，
now.
而且是在一个很靠后的地方。这样的话
Simple sticking
，CC
it.
就算打赢也得回去
Surely
推
they're
车。
not.
现在车都在往后倒，所以其实 Poker Face 这个应对是非常好的。这里我们可以看到 CC 的
But
车
I'm
打
a
了一
preview
波
for
船
SSG
杀
yet?
掉了双斧，但是车还没有动。
No.
而贝萨呀
I was gonna do it
到
backbone, but
场
then I had to. I was gonna do it on
再次想要
Saturday.
发动一轮
Okay,
突袭，但是
yesterday.
加斯明的矩阵撑得很好，双斧的护保没有什么大问题，反而是 Pineapple 的血线出了一些问题。
Sorry, I'm distracted by the scrolling advertisement board. I was gonna do it Saturday, but I cancelled the stream in the end to record. To record a video, so I have got a preview for all the teams coming out on Monday.
眨眼间，时间已经来到了1分40
And then that will
秒
contain a preview,
CC
a
这个
preview
阵
for
容看起来
SSG.
是有被 Poker Face 拉扯到，就属于是推车要被
Fake
一
fan.
狠狠地
Yeah, well,
打
part of my
血
motivation as
不推
well
车的
was
话
I kind of left
直接
SSG
去
quite
扑
late,
人
but then
车的
also
进
because I was
度
watching the
始终不理想
scrims.
OW 毕竟是一
So
个
I
推
really
车
watched
游戏
6 hours of SSG
杀人
scrims
是
into
不
what, like a 4-hour preview.
这里一层有人在卡
Surely not
车，这
possible.
还是得上
Surely
楼
that's
去管。
too much
一个
SSG,
对自己
even
血
for the
线压力
most
很
hardcore
大
fan.
远方有一个灵狐，但是我好像又
You sick
卡
of
呀。
us?
我们注意
Nah,
到
just,
Poker Face
you
的
know,
辅助又拉到了 CC
Come on,
的家里
Backbone. Would you
这个
watch
时候其实
10
CC
hours
在
of
车里
SSG
比较
scrims a
好
day?
好有钱的状态很差呀 ，Pineapple 的状态也很差，有点出不来。这个长牙塔给压力
Yes.
太大了。迪亚在绕后，车边想要赶走 G5，能赶走吗？
So where's your May video?
长牙塔
Only Hattie got a
一直在
video
给压
this
力
time.
量胜，炸死了迪亚。
My
反
fucking
手
my
胜
cameo
变成了一个
coaching.
进攻的号角，回头 Pineapple 变一个 Diva 做保
Can I
和
think
想
of a
要
match
打
where
4打
FG
5的
played
团
a
战
weird，
但
comp?
是叠着甲的长牙塔真的好难切呀。
Yeah, there was an Esperanza where they
还有
played that
G5的矩
brig.
阵贴心保护，最后能不能切掉？可以切掉，可以的。Pineapple 这一
Oh
轮
my
终于
God,
是处理
Pineapple's
掉
going
对方
off.
的辅助，但是
Hattie, forget everything I said.
球队们重新接管了比赛，在这样的换头情况下，远方应该是走不掉的。难呀，太难了
You。just need to watch Pineapple if you want to learn how to play Diva Backbone. That's the key.
已经这个相似的画面已经不知道发生了多少次了。CC 花费巨大无比的代价，终于是击杀掉了 Poker Face 的辅助。但是 Poker Face 这些人本来也不指着长牙塔。
I can find it, Alpha. Let me do it after this attack. It's about to be over. But I can rustle you up,
来到
Pineapple.
车边的团
Don't
战
you，worry.
这里 Poker Face 手握坦克和输出的大招。脉冲炸弹 G5 没有起效，反而是自己又一次被远方
Alright,
击
I get the
杀。
pick
今天
actually.
远方杀 G5 真的杀
It's
了
I got
很多
bomb.
次。Pineapple 再一
It's
次的
winnable.
切掉 Simple。
Oh, it's actually just
但是
super
自己又
winnable.
被 Chosen One 抓到，Chosen One 有变身保命，但 Pineapple 没有呀。Chosen One 的 Diva 来到车边 ，CC 剩余队员的状态还可以。Jasmine 的一个核爆炸掉了迪亚，迪亚似乎是在连续的掉点。离哥想放一个核爆去换甲，但是 Fix
Just tuned in. Is favouring Diva over Monkey a common trend this patch, or is it map specific? Well, Diva's definitely been buffed and has probably played more often than she was, say, at like the Dallas Major or something like that. I think so. Ultimately, there is an element of when it suits for players, right? You look at Jasmine and Liege; they both rather play Diva rather than Winston, or something like that. Yeah. What's the difference between main tank and off tank? It's mainly just hero pool. So originally when there were 2 tanks in Overwatch, back in Overwatch 1, it was really just hero pool. So your main tanks would be stuff like your Reinhardt, your Winston, Orisa, where your off tanks would be stuff like your Diva, your Zarya, your Sigma. And generally your main tank would be more of your anchor point, and your off tank would have a little bit more freedom to pocket your main tank in, or pocket your flanks, or shut down the enemy trying to do flanks. But since it's now just 1 tank, that distinction doesn't really work anymore. But obviously a lot of players kind of lean towards an off-tank or a main-tank hero pool depending on what they played in Overwatch 1. So they're still kind of used to describe different groups of tanks, but it's really just like a type of hero pool more than anything else. You'll notice a lot of the newer tanks Well, not a lot of the newer tanks
出
like
门看起来车队
Ram
外
or
要飞
Queen
天，要狙枪，然后
kind
Simple
of
这个物
transcend
子还不
both
太
the
确
sort
定
of，main tank and off
可能
tank
要么是物子不需要，要么
labels
是残
because
压
they
塔
kind
小
of
锤
just
吧，
they
应该
just
不太
apply
可
to
能物子
everyone
加
displays them now, you know.
嗯
You found it? Nice, Alpho. Because I 100%
这一局
forgot to do it.
OW 级抓钩是这样的，OW 选手的抓钩就是出门连续会，哎，我靠，好有钱，吓死我了！果然。
So Zenbrick worked? It sure did. Only on the defense though. They don't seem willing to do it on the attack. So we're just getting a full Tracer Echo Diva mirror. So I guess the logic would be it's pretty hard to kill anything on either team. Maybe the Echo becomes the primary target because the Diva can just fly into Echo's face. Maybe Echo and Lucio are the squishiest here.
已经开始给踩点压力，第二的状态不太好，拉走，离哥一个人顶在了后排脸上，有没有人补伤害？对面的后排全残，兄弟，终于是打掉了 Simple， 但自己
little bit chaotic to see what's going on.
远方可能也是活不了的，哇
Do you think hero bans will ruin some teams? No. I think the hero bans will be like the hero bans will create a lot of variety, but I don't think it's gonna like kill certain teams or kill specialist teams. Because remember, it's only a
Poker Face 有5分20秒。
Oh wait, hold on, guys! Important announcement. Did you guys know that Lee Junmeng renewed the governor in the live broadcast room of the anchor Ari with the wind, and accompanied the anchor to the Sea of Stars? Did you know?
离哥已经提前把侧线的位置踩住。
I'm glad we get these
注意一
news
下双方的
updates.
技能情况 ，J 物没有回数，但是并没有被抓掉，吃掉了队友的矩阵保护，但是 Poker Face 需要稍稍的
Honestly, they need to add this to OWCS.
的音障快得很
Because what if there's breaking news while I'm watching the Overwatch?
这里 Poker Face 很有可能会打一轮先手音障，只要被他们捕获到位置，已经来了先手音障，但是空中似乎是有一个音波推干扰了车队外的斩杀，但是好有钱自己也掉。 车队外有一个变身保命，而这时候 J 物已经斩
Any
杀掉
standout players? Not massively, no. I think J Wu has played well.
可能也是走不掉的。那么 Poker Face 在抓节奏这一块是丝毫。
But at least for bits we've seen, it's felt relatively one-sided. Oh wait, guys, did you know? I'm gonna say this wrong, but Zhao AI single push Yuhan to feed Ling Yuhan one cheers factory. Fill up the energy. Can I get a fill up on the energy, please, chat?
压力比较大，粘弹。 J 物的脉冲炸弹被远方用铃铛保住 ，counter 掉。离哥有摸车的压力，先到车边踩一脚。这里 Pineapple 似乎又被抓了，已经没有空去管他了，他自己有变身去保命。CC 盖了一个音障，但 DR 没有吃到，已然抓掉了车队外。
They're still trading. They've got beat.
似乎有一点点乱。
They've got the beat just fading out.
有没有激
CC
活
can
单
hold
位？
this.
想要激活 Diva， 但
And
这
then
里还有
after
一个
this,
后
all
方
we
换
need to
甲
win is
，Pineapple 的位
several
置
more
很危险，
fights.
变身。
Oh, Pineapple with a copy Lucio.
其他的目标了。
We need a copy beat on the go, Pineapple.
激烈的团战 ，CC 到底在激活
Come
谁？
on, amp it up.
得选一个车。
Oh, does it get beat? 10% off beat. 10% off beat into a C9. Why are neither of my Lucios touching? Ah.
就我的
Isn't J Wu supposed to be Korean
的视角
proper?
在找激活目标，右眼在
I've
瞥
not
着
heard
屏上
that.
的屏幕的进度条，看到从2米到1米到没。
I'm getting some follow-up reports now.
那么这样
He
的
is
话
not.
，Poker Face
I thought he's
在
played
希
well.
尔德自己的选图上
Maybe not
是
proper
再
levels,
拿
right?
一分
But played well.
3比
It's for
1
Pineapple pop
拿
off.
到了3个赛点。
Solos for backline. Alright, 3-1. And it feels like, I don't know how they dropped a map, because it certainly feels pretty one-sided in reality. See, he's playing like us. Yeah, I mean, these are all quite, storied players, right? The Team CC side.
不能
What's I gonna do?
放弃啊！
Okay.
虽然刚才产生了一些插曲，但是只要比赛还没有结束，
Show players.
就需要为每一个可能性去拼搏。
Okay. Is this best of 7? Yeah, best of 7.
我们来看一下 CC 是会选择新扎克城呢，还是苏拉瓦萨？相对来说，苏拉瓦萨会更
You say
适
hold
合
on
迪瓦
wash?
一些啊。
But not all of them are, right? Fuck. Like, J-Wu is good, Crowd is good. Simple's meant to be alright as well, right? But I've not been blown away after watching him in
就是在
EWC
新瓦尔
Korea.
德上 ，Poker Face 用 CC
Hey,
最擅
Braven.
长的阵容，以一个比较大的优势推到了 B 点。
Did you hear about the Seeker situation? I only kind of saw the tweets, right? Their flight was cancelled, then they got another flight.
打到镜像也需要 CC 做到更好，就不说打别的阵容，即使是打到镜像，打自己最擅长的，也需要他们做到更好，才可以把自己从悬崖边上拉
I
回
mean,
来。
it's obviously it's fair to say that Seeker has some kind of curse over his name and his family, I think. Because everything seems to happen to try and screw with his chances of success. And all of it seems completely disconnected from anything Seeker directly does either. So, I don't know what's going on, but at least they've got some more flights, eh? You lent him your private jet? Thanks, Laxa. What a hero. The guy's having to fight for BP kills like he's in a Final Destination movie. That's a great analogy, actually. No matter what he does, the universe is just conspiring to twist and turn and ruin it for him. Fuck. Alright. Final map. They're not doing bans or anything in this, right? This is just like just a play whatever tournament. That's the technical term for it not being hero bans, a play whatever tournament.
但是我们可以看到 Poker Face 说，来到这种小空间的肉搏地图，我还是会选择我的 Doom Fist。所以其实 Poker Face 这一套也是有人家的道理的。就我们众所周知。 抽 Z1 的 Echo 那确实是非常
I was locked out. What are we saying?
J5 这个裂空，我们今天发现
Toronto aren't capable of playing Echo Tracer. I mean, they can if they need to. It's not their best look. I wouldn't want to see him on it on it all that often at the Esports World Cup if they're hoping to win it. I think Toronto can do well at the tournament. I'm unsponsored opinion. I'm maybe a Toronto believer. Hero bans are before the players and maps are set right. No. So the order is you pick the map, you pick the bans, and then you pick the roster. Merit on Farah? Wasn't someone... I swear somebody was telling me that Merit's Farah is actually fucking nuts. It's possible that Merit is actually the man on Farah. They've just not had the appropriate situation for it yet. So, Care, Merit, Farah. 1 ban per team? Yeah, 1 ban per team. And also only one... You can only ban 1 per role. Yeah, so I'll do the whole thing quickly, but it's 1 ban 1 ban per map. Well, let me say it. I'm trying to say it in like a really short way, but I don't think you can say it in that short way. So each team gets to ban 1 hero per map. That hero ban will last the entirety of the map and apply to both teams. If Team A bans from a support role, the other team can't ban another support. And likewise, if the first ban is a tank, the other team can't ban a tank. So you can only have 1 hero from each role banned per map. And there'll be 2 bans total, so 1 from each team. And at the end, when you move on to the next map, all the bans will reset, all the heroes are unlocked, and we'll do another set of bans. Teams can't repeat bans, so if you banned Lucio earlier in the series, you can't ban it again. But if the other team banned a hero in 1 map, you can then ban that hero again in a later map if you haven't done it. So you can't repeat your own bans, but you can repeat the other team's bans. Of course someone would say it. Every time there's a someone joke. Every time a someone joke. You think it was Kasaurus? Yeah, I'd believe it, actually. I feel like Merit's probably got that dog in him. Care barrage and hate for French. Great. What's taking us? Are they having a half time? What's going on?
现在已经走过了99步 ，CC， 他曾跌入低谷，但他也曾救赎自我。
Is the best option Toronto have to have Merit learn Echo? Probably not.
需要再一次的救赎自我。
Probably not.
Poker Face 这边已经 ready， 需要等一下 CC 的 ready。
The real question is, anyone ever? It has loads of Poker Face fans in chat. Why does Nightmare have such good animations? I've not seen them. What's their Twitter? You say like we trust their. I just type in Nightmare. Will it bring me here? Yes.
好 ，CC 也 ready 了。
I mean, they just don't want to play that comp. There's no version of a double flex DPS comp that really suits them. Maybe like a Pharah Tracer with Merit on Pharah or something could work. But I really don't think there's many great options for them. I think in general they will be
都在酒里了。
just trying to avoid that matchup as much as possible.
晚上 Battle 3
Is this the animation?
就是名牌，可能是又要玩铁拳，但是相对来说，我会觉得这张图更适合羽毛。从地图的英雄适用性上，我觉得羽毛会更好。但是在之前斗兽场他们刚刚打赢，所以我们来看一下 Battle 3究竟会选什么。
Whoa! Don't throw a skull at the infected.
他说。 我的女王爆发很高，但是技能比不上
What, mate?
所以我选择破坏器。破坏器，真球假球啊！真玩球呀！让我们看看。
Oh!
只听说过真病。
Is this a scrim highlight, Admiral? Why are they dropping the Why are they once again leaking the London scrims? I can't believe this video was leaked for London scrims. Now we're gonna know we played Lucio.
准备的，但是看到破坏球的时候有没有一点意外呢？先往侧面装了一个炮台，但是炮台掉在了地上。Apple 愤怒地拆掉了旁边窗口的栏杆。Monster 的。
That was good though. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
但是这个版本的卡西迪手是真的短呀，破坏球的一轮下压被加利亚的富盾保住。 其实说白了 ，CC 这个阵容压力最大的是远方的巴蒂。
Oh, is this for their all the staff?
吃了富盾都会被化掉。
That's cute.
这里 CC 整体已经被压缩到了点内。
Who would win in a 1v1?
抓掉对方的 Fixa。卡西迪
J3
过一
probably.
个加利亚的屏障之后。
Fair play to Nightmare. They seem to be making a good crack at it.
也要拉走。要不要回家换呢
？Am I missing the game? We are not, guys. We are not locked in, are we? Fuck, we're missing the Zarya map.
压了不少的伤害，但是
Zarya Bat
能捅死
cast Torb.
Power Face 这里血线控制的还是非常精准的啊。回来之后，离哥需要省出更多的。
They did that kind of animation for their expert team and face it as well. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously we've had I mean not uncoachable. We've probably had our series of clashes with bedroom orgs. But as far as bedroom orgs go, it really does feel like Nightmare and Black, isn't it, behind it? Seems like seems like one of the better ones.
抽 Z1 这个加利亚应该是打不出重力喷涌了，86%的点位 ，Battle 3还要。
When does the esports Wednesday, the 24th? I want to say it is.
他们这一轮应该是要以骗招为目的，那希望 CC 可以把技能捏住吧。毕竟是一个5打4的团战，如果再付出太多的成本的话是不太值当的。这里继续给温斯的压力。
In theory, should be hard for this Zarya. Doesn't he have grab though?
11道，什么都没有读到。
Oh!
卡着头顶上，最终
Can't find him, but they kill the Echo anyway.
再来到点内，反而是 J5把他的脉冲炸弹交掉了。CC 很漂亮的把自己的所有技能都扣了下来。
The Torb cast Zarya goes hard. Well,
51刀以外。
you got a lot of damage. I'll give you that. In theory, this comp should still die quite a lot. But not true on this first point.
这里 Poker Face 没有选择再去更换其
All
他
right,
的
beat
英雄
coming back now for Fixer. Super Rich can match. If I'm Team CC, I just want to hit a. Can I just do a grab come combo?
还是回到悬崖来和自己的卡西迪抱团比较
Probably just grab and come, right? Just kill through beat.
两边都有阴障，但是
Or grab window can work too. Maybe grab
还记得在上一
grab
场比
come
赛
is
的
really
一个
fine.
重力喷涌是马有尸体，马哥尸体了。
That would be a real come zone.
这一场
Alright, they're gonna beat in here. There we go, there's for grab. Yes, grab come and window! Oh my god.
吃阴障的
You ever come through a window into a black hole?
OK.
God damn. Yep,
但是也
well,
有
kill him.
Pineapple 拼命上去补伤害，也被 Battle 的原始帮助换一下。这个时候我们看一下包克斯
All the time. Daily, is it? Daily?
依旧没有
Yeah.
换
I'm glad to see most people are doing this
赢
daily.
下来之后，而且我们注意到一件事，就是 CC 的鹰杖甚至是
All
助
right,
没有
so
交的。
obviously a good combo. Certainly fucking kills the beat. The problem for the problem for Team CC is that was 3 of their ults. So now they need to get a lot done with this offensive beat. Fixer's actually got Anna as well, so a more textbook dive. Simple really seems to be slow cooking this Kitsune rush too.
Pineapple 的状态不太好，吃到补线，但自己手里有一个变身还没有交。这里 Fixer 还在抬 Battle 的
Alright, let's
状
see
态，
it,
已
Big
经
Knight.
进了。
Only hits for
拍到
Zarya.
了离哥，但离哥有盾。
Copy Zarya comes in.
反手一个
Bit of double bubble on the go, but Lee's just going to push back with this beat. Now the copy grab comes out. They're all in it. Kills. Kills.
哇，可惜。
Alright.
其实这里如果 CC 有注意到对方是换了安娜的话 ，CC 这个阵容完全是可以抱团
Not too bad.
前吃的。CC 选择全员更
Now
换
they're going to swap over Kiriliso Mirror, so it's
就是先用加利亚这一套把对方打成
it's a 0 ult situation for Team CC.
再来拿 Diva Echo 裂空去打。
Now they're pushing to a primal as well. Dia's going to get the tracer gap. He's still got it.
在侧线被物资找到，物资非常的准。
Oh, is he going to get both?
出了一个铃铛，但
Go on, Dia, finish it.
迪亚很谨慎，但是如果
Gives a bit of regen, go and go finish him.
最终还是被 Simple 收掉。
Taken down by Simple.
上给 Battle
Thought Dia was going to 1v2 there.
但是离哥远方的状态都不是很好。这里 Battle 3的连拍略有失误。 找到了离哥，离哥还不对，找到了远方，远方还能走掉吗？远方有一个铃铛，这个
Dive comes in. Nano. The Nano's on the Kiri though, which is maybe not optimal. Ah, if he hits one more shot, it might have been. I think they got the kills anyway. Yeah, it just works regardless. Just works regardless.
换阵加消耗掉 CC 的优势技能，最终拿下。 把比分扳成了1比1。
Why is it in 360p? This is just oh, I fucking missed the ad! Oh my god, guys! Did anyone fuck? Did anyone see the news? I'm actually out of touch now. I'm out of touch with everything that's going on in the world. That was probably super important news. For fuck's sake.
打接下来的3个目标点的 BO3。这里 CC 手里有5接近。
Lamborghini. It was news about Lamborghini.
这一场。
What was the news about Lamborghini?
高台抢下
We
来
need to be informed.
还在选择从另一个方向进场。
Lamborghini.
卡住一个高台的位置，一个已经先行进点。
Has EWC reached out yet about you to be a co-streamer? I've been reached out to be told I would be reached out to. Obviously, the way Fibble tweeted implies I've made the cut, right? It implies I made the cut.
反而是抽 Z1 先变了身 ，Pineapple 变了一个温斯顿。
It was the Swedes who drove the Lamborghini out of business, was it? I thought so.
但是在
Oh wait, Chung Feed, Lu, Xiaobu, one romantic castle and Lude. Each one. Click to go to TA's room.
盖下一手鹰杖，但这个鹰杖团战到底在结果谁呢？菲克萨达娜到底藏在哪儿？世界未解之谜，终于是被 Pineapple 切掉了，原来是藏在了侧面的2楼。
What does any of this mean? Well, you can say Wilder, you're really exposing yourself as a person out of touch with current events.
这样一个可以被冲到后排的阵容，但 CC 却没有打赢啊！这一波团战非常的可惜。
All right. I actually locked out that previous one, but it feels like since they've made the dive swap, everything has started going their way.
Fixa 放完激素之后，也可以完成他的使命，切回卢西奥，又回到斗兽场那个局面。CC 需要在接下来
Nano available now. Probably just trying this on the Echo, honestly. Oh, Bellatrix is going to feed before the fight. All right. Should be a straightforward retake now versus no tank. There's the Nano in anyway. Just need to win this Echo duel with the Nano. There we go. Move simple on the way. Team CC still trading above. Bellatrix will be back soon though. I don't think we're going to touch it though. Yeah, it still costs them the Nano, and we're going to swap to Lucio now too. I guess that's the nice thing about having Fixer do it, right? Is they can go between the Lucio Kirio and the Ana Kiri.
这里
pretty quickly.
刚说完 J5 的
I'm
脉
pretty
冲炸
like
弹
keeping
对
people
位
on
击杀掉了
keeping
迪
people on
亚。
relevant heroes.
CC 先掉一
So now,
个
yeah, just a
情
carry
况
Lucian
下
Mirror.
风中还想给抽真万
Pressure
压
onto
力
the Echo as we'd
一个
expect.
一
That's the
枪
advantage of having a
拿下了
diva.
对方的大爹
I'm sure everyone is taken down
回
there.
头远方开出一个灵活
Belastria
想保住离哥的状态，但是
Alright.
Pineapple 又被
They
J5 对
trade
位击
kills.
杀。
4v4. Kitsune rush on point from Simple. CC are so close to all of their ultimates, they can just get some of them going. Need a kill here, far away. No.
对方也有铃铛的保护，场上只剩离哥的一个。
Oh, and that'll do it. Did they even get a retake?
又来到了 CC 的5个大的团战。
Oh wait, guys! Breaking news: Drifting in the wind, 68. Feed for First Dawn, baby 1. Fantasy Castle. Click, go to the TA's room. Feed for First Dawn, baby 1. That is good news.
但是有一点点难，这一次 Poker Face 是在前点开
Click on it.
是摸不到。
It does not look like a link that is safe to
裂
click.
空的掉点，以至于交了技能，团还没赢，远方的状态还不太好，能不能走掉？可以退走。这里 Poker Face 渐渐的打得凶了起来，一轮一轮追着 CC 去开。
Has Blizzard said how much we raise with the Saber to his skin? No, or not to my knowledge.
再无路可退。
Why is Malgan not played?
来到这一章。
Well, I think Malgan's been nerfed. I think he's now a lot more killable, especially in pro play than he used to be. So his role might be a little bit more niche now, a bit more countery rather than like a fundamental part of the meta like he used to be. Will the Chinese players be eligible for EWC next stage? I don't think so, no.
远方也走不掉，这个射线是穿。
So I think they already announced for qualification stuff.
I don't
think it included a path for China, so obviously if you are one particular Chinese team called like LGD, once again, you only have this tournament, the Esports World Cup, to do well in. So I mean, it's a big tournament for everyone, right? Because of the money involved, but particularly for them. Or he can keep going. Oh, Belastria, the King of Doom. That's what everyone always says about him. And that could be it, right? One more fight now. Kitsune Rush, Pulse in the mix. Kitsune Rush to match from far away. Oh yeah, they're called Wufeng LGD only once again now, aren't they? Just keep adding names. Alright, Kitsune Rush trade. Have to win it if you're Team CC.
95他摸不到，摸得到。
Oh, they got the touch. Kitsune Rush on the point as well. We've lost Pineapple on the way, but at least we're on point. Simple. Wait, did Simple Kitsune Rush on the point? Yeah, he did. Okay. Maybe he didn't. Where is the Kitsune Rush from Simple? Maybe they've dropped the bed here. Drop the bed? That's halfway between drop the ball and ship the bed, but they haven't. Choice one will clean everything up. Unless they all die to this bomb. They don't. And that'll be it. Poker Face will be your Hammer Cup 7 champions. Alright. Probably expected. Ship the ball. Yeah, I was gonna. I like in my head I had ship the bed and drop the ball, and I just said, well, I tried to say both at the same time and kind of said neither. Fun fact: my mum was gonna name me Wufeng LGD once again, but changed her mind at the last moment for whatever reason. Yeah, well, you probably dodged a bullet there. Dodged a bullet. Alright, should we do a bracket then? Do I need to pay for prediction or has GB got it? Fuck. Where is it? Manage prediction. Choose outcome. Poker Face. That was not a very exciting prediction, no. Are you following Face at all, or just Esports World Cup until it's done? Yeah, following both. Following both. So we'll talk about the Esports World Cup now. I mean, Face It Season 2, not yet. I'll maybe watch a bit of it after Esports World Cup, but probably only the big games. SSG preview when? None official. We won't do any on stream. We're going to do no SSG on stream, if you can believe that. If you can believe. No SSG on stream. Leak SSG scrim for 5 gifted? Surely nah, 100% I could get a way better price, no? I could get such a better price. But Trash Panda is right. I'd never betray SSG. Never betray them. 1 gifted. You guys are so bad at negotiations. When does Face It? It started already. It started already. All of the teams involved in all of the games in Face It all of the games in Face It League Season 2 that involve teams that are also going to the Esports World Cup are actually going to be delayed until after the Esports World Cup. You think you can leak one, Arcantimus? I wouldn't. Come on, if Fix isn't going to leak the scrims, we certainly shouldn't. Half a gifted? This is fuck me. 0.1? You guys are really playing hardball for people who hold none of the cards. You own literally none of the cards are in your hand, and you're trying real hard on these negotiations. If you want to see the new EXO, yeah, I mean, my plan, because this goes on till the 28th, is it? Yeah, so I'll be back on the 29th. So then my thinking was that week after, we'll probably look at a lot of the replays, and then we'll also maybe try and do some of the Face It games live, right? You're gonna hold a physical deck of cards? That would scare me, you're right. No, don't gigantify the emote, Cuba. I can't handle, no one can handle that. When stage 3? I think it's August. I don't think it's a massive amount of time after OWCS. Oh, sorry, after the Esports World Cup. 16th, oh, that's groups. 11th of August. So it will literally be like 2 weeks after the Esports World Cup, the Swiss will start. All right. So. You streamed EXO versus Hypnotes. Oh, I've seen your streams, Bull Skunk. You've been carrying the baton. Yeah, I've not had a chance to watch any of them. What do Hypnos have? MCD? Don't know. Some things in life can't be explained, Wilder. So it's just one of those mysteries in the universe, you know? How does MCD keep finding his way onto European OWCS teams? No one knows. Nobody knows. It can't be explained. Science can't explain it. Religion can't explain it. Nobody can explain it. Of course, Bull Skunk. Why is Cookie on the GG roster? Don't know. Probably just shits and giggles, really. Because there's like no contracts, or like, I guess there is now with the Esports World Cup, like, always coming in. But for the most part, there's not really a lot of contracts. So like, as much as the Ents have a big roster, not all of those players will be like fully contracted and salaried and all of that, you know? So it's just add fucking players for the sake of it. I don't know if it will even go to Saudi, honestly. I don't know, but my guess would be he's not. All right, what's the easiest way to do this then? I'm on the wrong thing. What's the easiest way to do this? Just draw all over it? Yeah, I'd be really surprised if Cookie is even going. I think it's just a shits and giggles signing. Tier list, maybe? No, I want to do, like... yeah, Jubiok added a Pagan emote, because we needed a Pagan emote. Ask stupid questions more, debates. Come on. Because I also... So if you don't know how the format's going to work, right? I'll talk you through it, and then we can maybe figure out the best way to try and represent this. Or we can also just... we can spam Pagan emotes at the same time. The two things aren't mutually exclusive. So the way this tournament will work is each group will be in a round robin, which means every team in the group will play every other team in the group. Then what will happen is this will sort the teams into some sort of first, second, third, fourth type order. The first team get a bye to the quarterfinals. The second team go into round one. And then the second team draft from all the third place finishes to sort out all the round one matches. All the fourth place teams, dead out of the tournament, eliminated. It's not a double round robin. It was at one point, Miss, but they changed it. Just because I think just because it would be like a lot of games to play in 2 days. And then, so if you follow me there, right? So all the second seeds go into round one, and they draft their opponents from all the third seed teams. Then, obviously, all those games will be played as a best of 7. The winner of those 4 games will go through, and then the existing quarterfinalists will draft from those winners. Does that make sense? And then, obviously, from there, the top 8 is just a normal bracket. And that'll be relatively easy. So, honestly, I'm tempted to make a spreadsheet with it on. Is that too much work? Should I have done it before the stream? Almost definitely. Sad for Pegas is not a normal emote. Go through every game. We're not going through every game first. Then playoffs. Well, no, we'll sort of answer that question as we go along. Like, who will win each game by the order we put them in, because it's just a single round robin. Yeah, I'm just thinking it's going to be kind of like awkward to draw over, but let's just fucking go on, right, and see how it happens. Where's my pen? What do I want? Can I get it slightly smaller? So, I think a lot of the groups are actually quite easy, right? In terms of who's going to finish like first, second, third, and fourth. Playoffs are first to 4. Yeah, playoffs are first to 4. So it's this is well, I normally use this is best of 5. This is best of 7. Liquipedia says first to 3. Fraudulent website. Stupid Wilder. Wilder tried to look up the information himself. And got scammed. Imagine trusting Liquipedia. Imagine not just having to imagine not just having to know the information secondhand from teams. Alright, so alright, you tell me. I'll go through the groups, you tell me if I do anything controversial. Group A I think is easy, right? Easiest one. That will get number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, right? Easy. And then I think Group B, also pretty easy. I think again we'll get number 1, number 2, number 3, and Hunter will not be getting a 4th match. This is all quite straightforward. We talked about it a bit on Uncoachable. Where maybe TM could lose, you know, like there's always one thing Twisted Minds did show in the Face It playoffs was how low their bottom. You know, we talk about peaks, but the Twisted Minds trough in that Peps game was huge. So you never know, but I think it would take quite an underperformance from Twisted Minds to drop it to TGS, because you have to bear in mind the guys they're not playing. They're not playing. So if Twisted Minds boot camp in Korea and lose to a bunch of Australians who haven't scrimmed, fuck me, that'd be tragic. What is this Toronto rebrand? So Toronto Ultra is the name of their Call of Duty team, so they've just aligned the brands for the World Cup. I don't know exactly why. I didn't ask. They just told me you might get some new branding for your stream for the event. I said, cool beans. Is TM able to play their regular roster? So TM have it depends what you mean by regular roster. I'll tell you the roster and you tell me if this lines up with what your understanding of the Twisted Minds roster is. The roster is going to be Quartz and UB. All right. Steady, stable, the DPS line doesn't change. Lubda's still there, but you know how it works. Quartz and UB will be there. And then TVNT, Vigilante, and Bliss is the rest of the roster. So if that lines up with what you think the regular roster of Twisted Minds is, then yes, their regular roster is playing. And Crispy as well. But Crispy's going to be mainly there as my Soccer Saturday cami. you're a few updates out. Lubs on Echo and Yubi on Sim? Nah, I think. Well, why would they play Echo Sim? Like I don't know. I mean, one thing that's nice about TVNT joining, as much as he's, I don't think he's as good as Kellen is, at least right now. He does fit the KSA archetype in terms of hero pools, right? So maybe Twisted Minds will lean back in towards some of their, like, the classic comps that they did so well with. All right. Then Group C should be pretty easy as well, right? Zeta Division will be winning. Ents will be second. M80 third. Bleed fourth. Maybe you can make, I guess it'd be like some Ents versus M80 type situation, right? But, I mean, Ents are scrimming. The word on the street is M80 aren't really scrimming all that much. So you have to feel Ents will be able to hand that one. Who's Ents scrimming? I think mostly EXO. And probably a bit of Nightmare as well. TM beat China? Ooh, you heard it here first. All right. I wouldn't put money on it, per se. Bleed beat M80 and Ents? Hot take. No way Bleed beat M80 and Ents. The thing is, I actually really like Bleed as a team. I think whenever I see them do content videos, like at the Asia Land, they all seem like likable, affable, having good fun with it. But the idea that they're going to win one of these games, I think, is a step too far. You know, even with M80 not playing as much, the gap's just too big. I think you should never underestimate region gap. You know, do you remember when never underestimate region gap? Like, the only time I think that region has been close or competitive internationally was what? Basically, it was like 2019 Talon, or basically any roster that had Patapan on. So if they don't have Patapan, I don't think they'll be competitive. And I don't think they're getting Patapan for this roster. Didn't you underestimate region gap going into Dallas? Yeah, but should that not an argument not to underestimate it again? And also, there's like a difference here, right? Because we have seen Western teams do well against Korean teams. historically. We've almost never seen a team from the Pacific region do well internationally. Bleed clears M80. I mean, this M80 roster, like, obviously, like, M80's big problem is the lack of practice, right? And being outside the Korean scrim bubble. But their team's still good, no? I think UV and Lyre is a rock-solid backline. And Tree and Spectre is actually just a really good DPS line, honestly. Who's Ence's main support? It'll be, Rack Attack. And also, you can say, you know, maybe Kaluj will only play Sigma, right? But the old man just wants to play Sigma, right? But if he plays Sigma into a Diva team, it's probably okay. It's probably okay that he plays Sigma and only into the Diva team, right? So even if we wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and go down the fucking comp and hero matchup route, it's probably actually still not a good matchup for Bleed. I think Astro Blade, a lot of the Bleed hype comes from 2 maps that they took off FTG at the time at the Asia LAN. But, you know, never underestimate a team's ability to shit the bed. What my thoughts on Ence's subs for Esports World Cup? I think actually decent signings. I think decent signings. And if you want my full thoughts, I will be releasing a video on Monday with my full, I guess, thoughts and feelings about each team. But I think like the long and short of it is, I think Rack's a pretty good side grade. I think probably slightly worse on Lucio, but Brig better for sure. Obviously Lifeweaver better as well if they can work Natin in some way. And then I think Ramon's a great signing. I think obviously covers all the stuff that Kai can't play in terms of playing a double flex support, a double flex DPS lineup. Yeah, Mirror is whatever, right? I presume he's just like an emergency signing to cover what would have been Chase's hero pools. But I think I would find it really unlikely we see Mirror for more than like 1 or 2 maps this event, honestly. I think they're going to be so keen to get Vessler in the server and keep Vessler in the server, even if it means he has to play like a quote-unquote suboptimal hero for the map or something. Would they realistically play Mirror on? It'd be like Doom or Winston, right? Like, he'd just be like a backup for those heroes. I mean Zarya, but I don't think we've seen any Zarya. Yeah, but this time we're going to do the full bracket, the drafting, everything. Because we've done the groups quite a lot, right? We've done the groups, and I don't think I've shifted massively on the group finishes. But we haven't done this bracket at the bottom before. Not properly. So, likewise, I think it's like a skill matchup, I'd say, Gandalf. Like, one thing I felt, I'm careful not to leak anything, but one thing I felt watching the scrims, and obviously what you get to see is a lot of different teams' interpretation of the meta, considering their own hero strengths and considering the hero bans and all of this. Everything's viable, it feels like, pretty much. Everything's viable if you're good at it. So it doesn't feel...
That's enough ads.
Thank you, Bull Skunk. You don't want to hear about the airport one more time? Just what? Let me tell you about this airport one more time. But it feels like everything's viable if you want it to be, right? Obviously, some maps are harder than others, but I think I've seen so many different looks this week. So, do you have any examples of teams playing to their strengths? Now, I don't want to say anything that I think will give away any of what teams are playing. I'm happy to talk, obviously, about stuff that's like existing. Thank you, Wexa. Appreciate the prime. You're gonna get a train as well? Fuck. Can Vess play Diva? Yeah, Vess's Diva is pretty good. Vess has got a good Diva on him. Did the train not come? What happened? Whoa! There it is. KSA is a much better team, and even if we just ignore it... Yeah, I mean, like, TVNT is worse than KSA, but I think, to be fair, they've always looked better on Brawl comps. Always look better on Brawl comps than we have on Dive comps. Even with Kellen and, like, Bidgie and stuff in the roster. So I think if TVNT inadvertently forces them to go back to Brawl, I think that's a good thing. Big picture for Twisted Minds. So then, this one... People are going to say I'm biased, of course, right? Of course people are going to say I'm biased. Alright. Fnatic lose to SSG. When will teams fly out? I think most teams are flying out tomorrow. Tomorrow, I believe. Then Nightmare versus Virtus Pro. What, your personal hot take is Twisted beat LGD? Fuck. Saudi do it to him again? Team China cannot stop losing to Saudi Arabia. Lit posted a picture of an airport in his Discord earlier today. Yeah, I mean, they might all fly out at slightly different times, right? But yeah, somewhere around these next couple of days. Is it just hope? I think like this isn't me trying to like. There probably is a level of inherent bias I have towards my, I guess, evaluation of SSG, but I actually genuinely think they're the better team. You know, I think in reality, while lots of people are happy to say this Fnatic roster is good, we've actually not seen them be good since 3 days in March, right? There were 3 days in March where they looked like they might solve world hunger with their dive. But since then, they've not looked that good at all. You had TVNT over Vest a couple of months ago in a tank? No way I had TVNT over Vest a couple of months ago in a tank tier list. I don't think I've done a tank tier list, have I? Did I? No way I put it. I have no memory of it. You did have TVNT over Vest? When? I'm not even joking, actually, at the moment. I actually have genuinely no memory of this. I did a huge tier list, did I? Leading up to stage 2? Of what? Of what? Players? Doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell. On what? On Twitch? Gaslight, isn't you guys are gaslighting me on stuff I've done. Yeah, do it, Astroblade. Send it to me. Send it to me. It was like 2 days before you chose your skincare routine. That doesn't help contextualize it at all. Nah, I don't know. I don't remember doing a player rankings, honestly. Fnatic wins this group without dropping a map? Fuck. I knew there'd be a few Fnatic fans in and around. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is my prediction. I think I think Virtus Pro will have a really hard time against Fnatic in particular. I think they will lose to SSG. You don't fuck with Infected? Nah, I think for rosters, like, in a weird way, I think Infected makes the team more well-rounded. But I think maybe if you're one of these teams in the kind of, like, the sort of, like, ENTS M80, like, Virtus Pro kind of tier, I think it's actually better. It's better to have a smaller pool of heroes, but be really good at a couple of them, or like have a really clear strength, right? Like Virtus Pro have a really clear strength, right? So obviously in theory you can ban around that in certain ways. But I mean, well, you can ban a Lari one map, right? So yeah, so fuck off Gali, you can't play a Lari one map. But then there's 4 other maps where he could play it if it's viable, and they can also fuck with your heroes as well and your ability to play dive. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't see Nightmare having enough about him. I think when Nightmare have been at their best, it's always been in these heavy macro mirrors, right? And that's when they had their all success. That's when they obviously qualified for Face It playoffs. That's when we saw them hit their peak. But I think ultimately Aerial was a big part of that, right? On the Malga. I think it was one of his better heroes. I think it's much better than Infected's. And they're also outside for fucking Scrim Bubble, right? Which I think is like same for Ent, same for M80. It's going to be a huge drawback for, I think, for a lot of these teams. Well, exactly, yeah. I don't think Malga's not fully dead, but it's certainly not where it was, right? So yeah, I just can't see them having enough about him. I mean, to be fair, one thing I will say about Infected is Infected does open up the ability to play dive. Because even though, well, Nightmare probably don't want to play most teams at this tournament in a dive mirror, per se, if they can play Virtus Pro on dive and play dive into double flex, that's where Virtus Pro have struggled the most with their double flex comp, right? So that feels like it makes a lot of sense, and we're actually having Infected, while maybe a downgrade overall, probably is actually an upgrade in terms of specifically trying to beat Virtus Pro, you know? Does he play D.Va, though? Doesn't need to play D.Va. Just play Winston, mate. Sent on Discord. Let me know if that works. Let me have a goose. Ooh. Hope it's not a virus. Oh, it's in like Excel? Oh, I'd have to do like a thing. Wait, can you still see? You think Aerial was getting infected? Yeah. Yeah, I think I might just draw it, honestly. Thank you, though, Astroblade. I do appreciate it. But I think I'll just draw it. I'll see how if it gets messy, I'll swap back over, but I think I can draw it. D.Va's really overpowered. Yeah, I think D.Va's in a good place. I think we'll see a lot of D.Va. But I don't think it's like hard meta by any means. I think some teams maybe think it is, but I don't think it's as hard as some teams believe it to be. Yeah, I think Winston can still beat it in a lot of situations. I think, depending on the map, obviously it can just lose to other stuff. Oh wait, yeah, if it's just Sheets, hold on, I'll just send you my email. If it's on Sheets, then I can just do it, then I can do it on screen. Email leak. I don't think my email is even private. From my stream experience, if there was no Anna Brigova mixed D.Va beats Winston. I know, I've seen it go both ways, Ice. So I think it's like it's just like a, what do you call it? It's just like a skill matchup, you know? But I think undoubtedly, compared to like, say the Dallas Major or something else, we're actually in, you know? It was like, it's actually a viable option. All right. Fuck. All right, should I do this? Should I do the whole scores then? All right. This is... Oh, wait, I'm on view only. Can I get... Should I just make a copy? If I make a copy... There we go. I can just do it. There we go. 3-0. Oh, I've just made a copy, so don't worry. And then it doesn't fuck with your version either. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one thing that's true of these D.Va changes, but just the fact that it's a viable option now more than it was, really does help a lot of these teams who are like an Ents, right? I don't know if I've never seen TVNT play D.Va, but he plays like the other stuff, right? Oh, it's chatting away. What if I just do let me do this. Hold on, I need if I do that, and then I do this, then I do this. I feel a little bit better. There we go. When did the game start? Wednesday. Wednesday. So when I say I don't think D.Va's hard meta, this isn't a comment about what SSG are playing. This is a comment about all the teams I've watched. I think D.Va is viable for a lot of teams in a lot of places. But teams are playing loads of stuff now. Oh, I've moved the wrong thing. Teams are playing loads of stuff that aren't D.Va as well. So like this, I think D.Va's in a good spot, but it's not hard meta by any means. You feel like my face isn't enough in the way? Grow up! I moved it, alright. Yeah, no, I don't think it's a hard counter. I think just all things are viable. Like, honestly, it's all viable. All in play. You'd be surprised at some of the stuff I've seen. Yeah, well, that's what I think, Gandalf. Nothing is hard meta. Yeah, like, I think... Because I think one thing is that... one thing that's definitely true is hero bans will create more variety inherently. But even if... honestly, if we weren't even in a hero ban meta, I think it'd still be a pretty wide open meta anyway. Like... there's very few heroes I don't think I've seen this week in scrims. Like, it's really... I'm not lying to you when I say it's been all over the place. Obviously, it's scrims and people are trying stuff and all this jazz, right? But I've actually seen so many fucking heroes. Life, yeah. Everything. Even stuff you wouldn't have expected to see. We've seen it at least a bit. Yeah, Junkrat, yep. Mercy, yep. Orisa, yep. Sojin, yep. It's just like, guys, hero bans will open the door to a lot of things you maybe don't expect. Seen all of these things. I actually have seen Mercy. You'd be surprised. Unironic. Can I tell you what I haven't seen? Like, no joke. I think, I don't think there's a tank I haven't seen. I think I've seen every tank in play this week. Am I forgetting a tank? Yeah. Slowly but surely I'm leaking. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. Every tag has been seen this week. So do what you will with that information, but the meta's fucking open, guys, I'm telling you. Orisa, I've seen fucking Orisa. You guys think I haven't seen Orisa? I've seen Orisa. How do the bans work? Like, the TLDR is both teams will get to ban one hero per map. If team A bans a hero from a support role, let's say, the other team can't ban a support. They have to ban either a tank or a DPS and vice versa, right? So it's role locked. There'll be 2 heroes banned every match, 1 from each team. The bans reset every map. So when we go on to map 2, all the heroes are enabled again, and then the teams will ban again. You can't repeat your own ban, so if you ban Mercy in map 1, you can't ban Mercy in map 2. The other team could ban Mercy, though. So while you can't repeat bans, you could get heroes banned multiple times in the series. Have I missed anything? And the bans apply to both teams. So if you ban Mercy, you can't drop the Mercy either. So. Can we make Jake do a little explanation of the ban rules? Maybe dress him up too? Honestly, Turlins, I think you're more interested in the second part of that than the first part. We are on pace for the longest bracket prediction ever. Yeah, we're going hard. We're going hard. Have I seen Sombra? Yeah. Honestly, mate, all heroes are in play. How do they decide who gets to ban first? So it's the loser bans first. So if you lose the previous map, you get to pick the map and the mode, and you also get to pick who bans first. So you sometimes you might want to ban first, other times you might want to ban second. Normally banning first is better because you can protect a role as well. But sometimes banning second is good if you're not sure what they want to play. By letting them ban first, you can maybe get a bit of a read of what they're trying to do, and then base your ban off their ban. Any Torb? Yeah, we literally watched a Torb today. Come on. So reverse sweep is much harder now. Yeah, I mean, well, it also means 3-0s are much harder as well, right? Yeah, we literally... Did you guys not see that guy come through a window into a black hole? Come on. That was pretty unforgettable for me. All right, I'll keep answering questions, but we should do some of these as well. So this is a 3-0. I mean, honestly, it's probably a 3-0 actually. I think Crazy Raccoon are the team to beat, man. They're just the fucking team to beat, you know. Gaming Gladiators over Rock. You've also spelt it wrong. Fuck me. Come on, Astroblade. Gladiators. You think you give them map winning groups? Nah, fuck me. Crazy Raccoon's so hard to beat, man. Man. This is a 3-0 as well. Toronto over game. This is an 0-3. So in Toronto's favour, and this is an 0-3 also in Toronto's favour. Which obviously should give us like a first, second, third from that, right? What's the easiest way for me to do this? Surely these games are going to be played at the same time. Yeah, there'll be multiple streams on the Go Myth. Multiple streams. You just said it's hard to 3-0? You are right, like. But also, it's hard to get a map of Crazy Raccoon, I reckon. You are right. I think this group's really weird, because I think the gap in skill... Because also, if you think how this group is in terms of how the seeding works, this group has the biggest gaps in seeding as well. So I think that actually matches up. Toronto 3-0 Peps, if you're a Peps believer. Yeah, I'm actually... You'll see it on my video on Monday, but maybe my hot take for the event is I'm actually a Toronto believer. If you can believe that. This one has 3-1 written all over it in the favour of Falcons, I reckon. This one as well. I actually think it's a fucking giga banger, but I think LGD win. Ad? Not an ad. Not an ad. I just believe, you know. Where's my Toronto shirt? It was upstairs. It's upstairs because I have to fucking take it to Saudi, don't I? I have to take it to Saudi. LGD versus Showman? Oh, they're not fucking doing it. Grow up, Hunter. It's not happening. Falcons over Twisted. No, they just get 3-0'd, I think. SSG giving me free stuff in Saudi? I hope so, Crispy. I mean, they're letting me stream there for free. I had to so I had to message the boss of SSG today. Because I was doing some packing for the event, and it became really apparent to me, and I know maybe it's not shouldn't be that surprising, but I unironically don't own a lot of clothes that don't have the words Cloud9 on them. So shirt-wise, I think I can get around it. I think I've got just about enough shirts to get through. But, like, all my shorts say Cloud9 on them. And all my joggers say Cloud9 on them. You know? So I said to him, like, I'll just try and keep them off camera. I don't own any other clothes. Another Cloud9 shirt? Yeah. My wife hasn't replaced it. Yeah, but what do I need it for? What do I need it for? I mean, I can wear this in public quite happily, no? Oh, my wife's caught. Like, there's nothing wrong with this shirt, you know? It's just a nice shirt. Just a nice shirt. Sure, if you... What's wrong with the shirt? This is actually one of Cloud9's nicer shirts, no? You guys have no fashion taste. Twisted against Showman? Oh, do I give him a map? I think there's no way, actually. Oh, wait. Maybe there is a way. They can get a map. They can get a map. Nicer. I have no taste. What's wrong with this shirt? Come on. Hot take fashion advice. What do you think would be the result of ENCE versus LGD? I think LGD probably win, but it's probably closer than you might think. Like a 3-2 or something. 3-2 LGD. How they get a map? There's always a way. Wait, why is this not... Can I get this lined up here? Nice. Make sure the other ones are lined up. Alright, I should speed this up, because I've kind of already done it, right? This is a 3-0. This is... Is it a 3-0? This is a 3-1. I think ENCE, like... Fuck you. I think ENCE have that dog in them, you know? MAT maybe don't have that dog in them. ENCE will 3-0 bleed. ENCE versus MAT. This is 3-1, I think. I think MAT 3-0 bleed. Well, it's because someone wanted to do the scores as well, Wilder. I'm getting to it. I'll do it quick. Hold on. 3-1, I think. 3-0, maybe, actually. This is close. I suppose it's like a 3-1, maybe. Fnatic versus... Maybe a 3-0. Fnatic versus Virtus Pro. Maybe they're actually 3-1s with this. Oh!
Hey X. Could you remind me, when does the tournament start?
Thank you, Moloch Walker. Wednesday, the 24th. 24th for group stage starts, and the playoffs will start on Friday. Virtus Pro over Nightmare. I think it's a 3-2. Alright. So, what this means... Alright, let me get the seeding right. So, I'm not 100% certain on this, right? Oh, wait, he's not added round 1! Fuck's sake, Astroblade. There's no round 1. I'm co-streaming the whole thing. Co-streaming the whole thing. I can do this, hold on. If I do this... Oh, wait, fuck's sake. Put this here. Put this here. Actually, I should have copied it. Put this here. Just call this round 1. We've cracked it. There we go. Not too bad, eh? Not too bad. You made it in about 30 seconds? Yeah. Alright, so this is done. So what this means... Alright, fuck. I need to look at the actual bracket to figure this out, right? Because presumably the seeding is going to be... It'll be like 1, 4, and 2, 3, right? That's... So it'll be A, D, and B, C. That makes sense. Okay. A, D, and B, C. So... This will be Crazy Raccoon. And then this will be... Fuck, will this be SSG then? Shit. Then this will be Group B, which will be Falcons. And then this will be... Where am I going? C? So this will be Zeta. Right? Yes, I've done this correctly, right? So then that means the second seed teams will be Toronto Ultra, LGD, ENTS, and where am I going? Fnatic. Hey, Jonte. So this is where the prediction gets like goes up a difficulty level essentially. So you want the full name? Woofeng.lgd.oa? Fuck. Otherwise you might confuse them with the other ones. I can do it. I can do it for you, mate. Alright. So this is where we have to get really... We need to get in the minds of all the teams here, right? Because we now need to think, who do they draft? Do you know if they're doing the drafting live? No, I hope they are, but I have no idea, actually. But the teams in question that it could be from will obviously be the Gaming Gladiators, Twisted Minds. Oh, let me... wish I was literate. M80, and of course, Versus Pro, presuming our predictions are right. Do we know if the teams with a bye? Yes, mech. So this round 1 is going to be drafted. So this is what we're going to do next. We're going to figure out which of these teams are going to draft. Oh, which of, let me say this the right way around. Which of these 4 teams will be drafted by these teams? And then after we have this, we have the winners from these games. And then the 4 winners of this game will be drafted by these teams. SSG is taking Peps. I mean, if they get the chance to, right? Wait, so let me do... So they draft in seed order. So it'll be... Wait, let me... Fuck me. I just need to draw it, actually, don't I? I just need to write it here so I remember it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. So, right. So, of all the second place teams, let me close this now. Where is Showman from? They're from Down Under, OCE. Do you think Fnatic are on the weaker side? I don't think they're a weak team by any means. I just think if you were to say there's 2 teams that we know are elite, right? 2 teams are factually elite and going to be fucking difficult to beat, right? And that is Falcons and Crazy Raccoons. And these teams are the gold standards. These teams are the gold standard. Do Fnatic enter that gold standard tier? No. They're not in that tier, you know? And I think you could probably maybe even make Zeta Division maybe more likely to be there, but maybe not. Whoa! Thank you, Bacon Pancake. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Did anyone good get one? Thank you, Vo. I do appreciate the gifts. Got the even 10 now. Clean. Astroblade, thank you. Why did Rock pick up Loaded if they won't win a single map? Is there any gain to it? Not really. So, what I understand from the Rock deal is obviously they get to say they entered the Overwatch tournament, when the sign up happened, they can't get any points, and obviously, even if they could get, the rules say you had to sign a team by a certain points to still qualify to potentially get club points for the overall Esports World Cup prize. So they signed them after that, so they couldn't get points. But even then, I mean, fuck me, Loaded weren't going to win any points anyway. So it's just, I think it's just for like a little bit of exposure. From what I understand, they basically it's like a nothing deal, if you know what I mean. Like what this cost Rock Esports, I think, was they paid for a few extra flights for Loaded. I don't think there was anything like no big money changing hand or no prize pool sacrifice or anything like that, right? Just like a cheap deal that slightly benefits both parties. So I wouldn't read too much into the Rock Esports signing. How is Ents? Wait, Tatso, these are the official seedings. This isn't my ranking, these are the official seedings. So, don't shoot the messenger on this one, mate. Do not shoot the messenger. I was just putting these here, so if you want the catch up, these are the official seedings for the tournament. These are important because these will determine the order of the draft. So the situation we're at now, obviously, is we have these 4 teams, Toronto Ultra, Wufeng.lgd.oa, Ents and Fnatic are going to be drafting from the Gaming Gladiators, Twisted Minds, M80 and Virtus Pro. So, obviously, when you do the draft, someone has to go first. So they're going to go in original seed order. How do they come up with them? So, a little bit of how they qualified, Crispy, and a little bit of like a sensibleness, I guess, right? So as you can see, Crazy Raccoon, Falcons, and Zeta on top, which I don't think anyone would be surprised at. But what they've essentially done is they've ranked for regions, you know? So Korea has been given preference, but obviously SSG did finish higher at Dallas. So it's like a combination of region plus where you finished, right? That's why you ask why like Ents are ranked so highly. It's because of their Dallas placement. That's why Ents have been bumped up, right? And similarly, because EMEA did better at Dallas, it also means all the European teams have gained favourable seeding compared to the American teams, which is why, for example, Ents is above Toronto. It's why Gaming Gladiators are above M80. It's why Virtus Pro are ahead of Nightmare and all of this. And then LGD, they've just kind of put them somewhere relatively high, but a little bit but not quite at the top. But to be fair, when I look at this seeding, I actually think they've done really well, right? I think this is really reasonable based on the actual tournament placings of teams so far. I don't think this is actually a bad shout by them at all, even though they've had to use some level of judgment. You know, especially because obviously the Dallas teams, anyone who went to the Dallas major, easy to rank. Everyone else, you have to sort of guess a little bit. So I think, to be fair, from what I understand, most of the teams are pretty happy with this as well, right? But what that means is, so who's the highest here then? Fnatic. So Fnatic get to draft first. So who do we think Fnatic pick out of these teams? Goes bottom to top. Oh yeah, good shout, Wilder. That'll be easy to remember. M80. It's M80 or Virtus Pro, right? VP or M80? Now, I don't think any of them will want TM. I think there's a real chance that TM actually are like the last ones drafted. You think VP? I could see it, right? I could see. Wait. Oh no, they can't pick VP actually, can they? So I think Gando asked this question. I can't remember if I answered it, but they said, "Can you pick someone from the same group?" I don't actually know the answer to this, but my presumption would be no, right? Because it's I don't actually know if that's true, but that would be my presumption, because otherwise it's a little bit silly, right? But that means it should help us, at least in this situation. So presuming they can't pick Virtus Pro, they'd pick M80, right? They'd go, these guys want to play Sigma? Maybe we'll just fucking dive them the whole time, right? And it feels like a very nice matchup. Oh, right. Good shout, Wilder. That's fair. That's fair. All right. So, then Ents will get to draft next. An unbelievable advantage for Ents, honestly, considering. So, who do Ents pick out of their European counterparts, right? Do you think Gaming Gladiators? They keep having close series against GG, don't they? But they also had close series against Virtus Pro. And I think they'd... And also you got to mind, that against Virtus Pro, they had Chase to solve the problem and go dive, right? So they probably go Gaming Gladiators. And then if I'm wufeng.lgd.oa, honestly, actually, they don't even get to choose, really, do they? Presuming that rule's true. So it would just be Virtus Pro and then Twisted Minds. Like that, right? TM just to show Quartz who's boss. I don't... They'll get their revenge in groups if they get it, you know? What are these draft force? And these are the opponents. So round 1, out of all the teams that qualify, what happens is, depending on where you finish, all the second place teams in groups get to draft from all the third place teams. Have we talked about it? No, we're just getting to it now. Right, so this is where it gets... So now it's worth remembering at this point in time, for these next matches, we're going to be in best of 7s. Hero bans are obviously still going to be in play, and it is single elimination, right? So it's just who does better in the day. In groups, who picks first map? It's predetermined. So in groups, it's predetermined, and the person who gets to choose the ban is the higher seed. So if you're, let's say Crazy Raccoon are playing Gaming Gladiators, the first map will be predetermined, and because Crazy Raccoon are the higher seed, they'll get to pick whether they want to ban first or they want Gaming Gladiators to ban first. Do we have a predetermined map? Yes. Hold on. Hold. Busan, Busan, then Lijiang Tower, then Ilios. So in that order for everyone. So if I was to represent it here, kind of need to give more space, right? But it would be like Busan, Lijiang Tower, like that for all the groups. If that helps people visualize. Can you see that okay? I don't know if I'm like over it with the oh, I've not lined it up right because I'm a drongo. Oh, wait, don't do that, but do that. Do that. There we go. That should be a bit easier to see. So the CR always have first hero ban? Yeah, in theory, they should always have the option to. Yeah. If I put this... Yeah, we can move off screen now. It's less important. All right, so score for these ones. Toronto versus Twisted Minds. And again, I think it's 4-2. I think Twisted Minds... Oh, actually, Twisted Minds always lose to... Like, dive is a big problem for Twisted Minds, right? Historically, it was a big problem when they had the KSA version of the roster. It went away for a little bit when they had the Kellen version because they could just play Kiri, Lucio, Winston, Tracer themselves. So actually, this is probably worse for Twisted Minds than It's actually a really rough matchup for Twisted Minds, I think. You think Vigi and Bliss solve the problem? Do they, though? How so? Because what about... I don't know, maybe still 4-2. Still 4-2. I think actually one of Toronto's best matchups is playing dive into Brawl, you know? I think it's one of the ones they do best at. Do I usually moisturize for my head? No, I moisturize my face, but I kind of stop at the forehead. Whose Koreans are stronger? Toronto's for sure. Toronto's for sure. Yeah, I think Twisted will be a tricky team to play at this tournament, but I don't see him beating Toronto. I think this is a really Twisted Minds are gonna sort of suffer a little bit from having quite low seeding, you know. So unless they can cause an upset in groups, I think they're probably going out in round 1 here, you know. You see the greatest showman going all the way? No way. I see the greatest showman going all the way to... I was going to say to the bar, but to the shisha bar, I guess. I can see them going all the way to the shisha bar. Actually, I mean, they probably get a map out of respect, right? Just because there's, like, so many maps. But I think this is a tricky one for Virtus Pro. I mean, there's maybe a question of, like, because Virtus Pro know their problem is dive, but it's one of those problems that's way easier to... It's, oh, we just keep losing to dive, so we have to just solve that, right? But easier said than done, right? For the playoffs, Cal, yeah. For the playoffs, yeah. Then Ents versus Gladiators. Oh, this is a tricky one. This is a fucking tricky one, no? How much do we believe in the scrim bubble? Yeah, I'm same page as you, Sanu. I think Toronto. I don't think Toronto are going to win it, but I think they're going to do well at this event. Oh, but this is hard. So, I think on paper, Ents should be the better team. Pound for pound. Yeah, actually, I'm an Ents believer. Fuck the scrim bubble. They're doing it anyway. Ents are doing it anyway. Ents are gonna counter the scrim bubble. They can do it. They can do it. Yeah, they can do it. Then Fnatic versus M80. This is just, I think, similar to Twisted Minds, where it's just like this is a tough one. This is a tough one for them. So, do they get a map? Maybe even not. I mean, I feel like it's going to be hard to really get 4-0'd, but with like hero bans and stuff. Because presumably there's enough bans where they can like take the good heroes away as well, right? Because I know people are... I feel like there's a sentiment where people talk about hero bans. Where they're always like, hey, just ban Lucio from fucking SSG and they can't play the game anymore. But like, the same goes the other way, right? So if you're a team like LGD or Fnatic, and your clear strength is obviously dive, you can fucking ban those heroes too, you know? Like, you can make nose comps harder to play too. So the bans go both ways, right? Which is why I think, like, even though Virtus Pro do have a weakness to dive, maybe they can ban their way around it enough, you know? If Peps lose here, do they have another chance? No. I mean, as much as, like, what I'll say about Peps is I think Peps are a team that have improved over the year, right? I think compared to Stage 1, they're better Stage 2. Compared to Stage 2 to basic players, they've improved again. They are a team that are trending up, but they've not trended up enough to the degree where I think they can take it from the top teams, right? Because you have to bear in mind, the winner of these games here, they're top 4, right? You know? These are like the top 4 teams. Can I make them green? Which green? This green? Maybe a more vivid green? This green? That doesn't look that good. That green? Maybe that green. Yeah, but I mean, the bans are really hard to factor in, right? Because it's also an element of you can like fuck it up too, right? Like one thing that is 100% certain, this is not a leak at all, but as someone who spent a week watching teams have to fucking ban and deal with the mental exercise of what comps are playable What ones are viable? What ones are viable based on the roster they put in, based on the map in play, which one is strongest, and all of this. It's a fucking nightmare. It's so hard in these like the bans make everything so complicated, you know? Yeah. I think it's so hard really to get it right. And I think as well, like because I went into this week thinking it would be tricky, right? Thinking it'd be tricky to get the bans right, and you could quite easily fuck it up, or you could miscalculate or get the wrong read and all of this. But it's way worse. It's worse than I thought it would be. It's so fucking hard. And I think a lot of teams are struggling with it. I think there's even an argument that it's maybe like so tricky. It's I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think it will force comp variety, but I think it's a massive headache for all the teams to deal with. A massive headache. So I do not envy the teams actually having to figure this out at all. Are we accounting for flexibility with the bans? Kind of, yeah. I think as well, like, one thing you have to consider with flexibility is it goes both ways, right? Because, like, while it's useful, obviously the more flexible we are, the better it is, right? But that's always been true in Overwatch. But you can only ban a hero once per series, you know? So in a best of 7, let's say you really are, fuck me, I don't want Fearless to fucking dive me on Winston. There's no way I can handle Fearless Winston. We'll just fucking ban him. So you ban Fearless Winston, you win map 1. Fucking A, you've done it. You've fucking done it. And now you've got 6 maps where Fearless can play Winston as much as he wants. You know? So I think, especially once we get to later maps in the series, the bans will get less impactful, I think, later down the series, you know? Because there'll be less options. Do you think EMEA and A looking like bronzes versus Koreans at Dallas was partly due to the meta read? And do you think... Yeah, I think it'll be closer this time. I think the Scrim Bubble will buff all the teams that have taken part in it, right? So the SSGs, the Torontos, the Twisted, Virtus, Gaming Gladiators, it will be a buff. And I think for teams like Toronto and SSG, it should put them close enough to take maps. I think, again, as well, you've also got to bear in mind, the 2 teams that we saw at the Dallas Major, I think are just the 2 best teams in the world by, like, a gap. You know what I mean? And I think that's why we always saw them in the fight. Like, maybe it's not actually that fucking surprising, right? Who were the 2 teams always in the finals of the OWCS Korea at every stage of a tournament? Who were the 2 teams in the final of the Asia LAN? Who were the 2 teams in the final of the Dallas Major? Guys, it's the same 2 fucking teams. They're just the 2 best teams. Do you think teams might put off picking stronger maps until later in the series? So I think what will happen as well is, if we look at the map pool, if I can scroll up without losing this. If we look at the map pool, the hybrid and escort maps, I think in particular, are way more prone to being like, to leaning towards one comp rather than the other, right? So we look at like Icon and Hollywood. They're very diveable, right? Whereas Midtown actually may be quite a difficult one to dive on. And likewise, same with Escort, right? Like suddenly, like Shambali and Circuit actually look maybe quite tricky ones to get a dive off on. But suddenly, if you can take them to Dorado, fuck, we want to take them to Dorado, right? And remember, because the mode gets locked as well, right? So if I'm LGD, I lose map 1, I say, brothers, we're going to Dorado. Not only do I get to play Dorado against a team that might not want to play me in dive, I then stop them picking Circuit Royale or Shambali later in the series, at least until like map 7 or map 6 or 7, right? So yeah. Is Runa Sappy a dive map? Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think that's what we'll see there mostly. Some version of that. Are Chase and Ghost not playing because of visa? I think Chase isn't allowed to leave the country. I don't know why Ghost isn't going. I don't know if it's like a roster decision or if he doesn't want to go, if it's like the same decision as Massa. but he's not going. But I don't know why. I don't think it's a visa issue. I think if you're not Ukrainian, it's really easy to get a visa for Saudi if you're going to this event. Like when I went through my visa thing, and I got it like so fucking fast. He saw what happened last time. He's had enough. Was it just in school? Is that what he said? I don't know the answer. He's got some school stuff. And this kid wants an education. God damn. All right. So I am gonna go get another Diet Coke because it is warm today, and I fucking love Diet Coke, guys. I have to be honest with you. But the next stage is these 4 teams are going to be drafted by these 4 teams. So. And again, if we think about seeding order, right? So Crazy Raccoon get first pick. Crazy Raccoon will pick first. Falcons will pick second. I don't know what. I'll just do the numbers. Crazy Raccoon will pick first. Falcons will pick second. Zeta will pick third. And SSG will just have to cop whoever is left, right? What makes Diet Coke so good? The fucking chemicals they put in it, man. Yeah, so it's drafted, Sova. It's drafted. So I'm going to grab a drink, and then we'll figure out this part of the draft as well. Oh. I'm back. Ooh. What are we saying? You got a full fridge of cherry Coke? It's actually, in this weather, it's so fucking nice just to drop the ice cold tinny. Fuck. Alright. So, if I'm Crazy Raccoon, is the obvious pick here Ents? I need to try and think about it, not just in terms of strength, but what would I do if I was Crazy Raccoon? Is anyone here a Crazy Raccoon? Toronto? I mean, what's going to make these ones hard to predict is also, by this point in the tournament, by the quarterfinals, right? All of those quarterfinal teams will have watched a bunch of the other teams' games, right? Either have played against them or seen them play in round 1. So they'll have a clear idea of what they're playing and also how well they're playing, right? They can't pick Toronto. Now, I imagine that would only apply to round 1. I think. That would be my guess, at least. I think they'd be allowed to rematch here. Again, I don't actually know if that's true, right? How does the playoff work? So, basically, the first seed in each group goes through to the quarterfinals. The second and third seed go into round 1. All the second place teams get to draft from all the third place teams. Then from the 4 winners of these games, the 4 quarterfinalists get to draft those ones. So that's what we're trying to figure out now. Of these 4 quarterfinalists, which of these teams that we presume are winning are they going to pick? Yeah, I feel like Ents would be the nicest matchup, right? In terms of you get to exploit the fact that Vess is going to be probably wanted to play mostly Sigma. Can I do this? Okay. Supposed to be Ents probably, right? Ents going out in the quarterfinals is rough. I don't think it's that bad, honestly. Like, it's... Like, quarterfinals is top 8 in the world, right? Do they pick Team China just for the ego matchup? Surely some of the players on these top Korean teams have learned their lesson about playing dive against LGD, right? Surely they've learned their damn lesson, you know? Does Vess have a diva on him? Yeah, Vess's diva is good. I think one thing that's actually true is for the longest time we've considered Ents not as a dive team, right? But depending on how viable Diva is in that type of matchup, the fact that you can put Vess on Diva, Kev on Tracer, and maybe Wamon on Echo, well, it doesn't feel too bad all of a sudden, right? Does it? Doesn't feel too bad all of a sudden if that comp's viable for Ents to play some of these dive maps. I mean, I think, honestly, if I'm Ents, I still don't want to play against Crazy Raccoon dive, right? You think they will pick LGD? You think they'll just fucking ego it? No way. I mean, the problem is I need to... Crazy Raccoon, they strike me as a vibe team, you know? So I guess I do need to... I need to kind of factor in that they might just be picking on vibe rather than sense, you know? Because if that's the case, then who would Falcons pick? I guess the question is, what do the Koreans see it as? Do the Korean, like, if I'm Falcons looking at this, maybe on paper, is it Fnatic maybe feel like the weakest team potentially? Obviously they will have like scrimmed these teams and will have seen them play by this point and all of this, etc., etc. But do they actually want to play the Korean teams, or do you think the Koreans just look down with disgust on the West and they just go, let's play these Toronto fucking pricks, you know? Like, would it? Because I could see a world where they just go, let's play Toronto. Because I don't know if I would pick Toronto out of these teams. You know, out of Fnatic, I'd probably, out of these 3 teams, I'd maybe just pick LGD, honestly. But I think they might be inclined to pick Toronto. Right? I mean, some of this will also depend on, like, how their scrims have gone, right? But I think there's an argument that the Korean... I think there's a real argument the Koreans don't super respect the West. I don't know. I think the LGD hype is, like, not that high. So if I'm Zeta Division, I'd probably pick Fnatic, actually, right? Because they always beat Fnatic. Can someone fact check me? Am I spreading misinformation, or am I actually spreading information? Yeah, I feel like even when Fnatic had their, like, the golden weekend in March, they didn't let me type it like that. They didn't actually beat FTG. LGD. Yeah, I mean, you got to remember from LGD's point of view, I think the talent of the players is clear, right? No one's going to argue about the quality of players like Gujue, Leave, and Shy, and I think their backline's very competent. But what we've seen is they've only really excelled at dive, right? So one thing that has to be true is dive going to be viable, and the answer probably seems yes. They might get it banned away from them on a few occasions, right? I like that. It's better like that. But yeah. Zeta pick Fnatic for take the Ego Dive Mirror. I mean, it would be on brand. It would be on brand for our beliefs. It just seemed weird. Because it also just seemed weird, because then presumably this is, Wait, can I have my crosshair back? Thank you. My crosshair, my cursor. Because then it means SSG would get LGD, which would be so perfect, right? I think if I'm SSG, I'm really happy with this. I don't know, in my head, I feel like Crazy Raccoon and Falcons are scared of team... Not scared is probably too strong a word. But, like, hesitant to just take that dive mirror after, like, what happened at the Overwatch League Season 6 and all of that. Apprehensive, yeah. That would be my guess, but is it possible they actually just don't give a fuck, you know? Fate will sub himself in if they play ball. What do you... Dongax Ball is good. We've seen Dongax Ball. He ruined many a team's hopes of winning New Queen Street against the Atlanta Reign. Yeah, I think if there's any that are likely to swap, it would be this one, right? I think LGD come in Chinese. I think. I mean, I presume so at least. I mean, I know that would make it hard for Rush. They only played New Queen Street twice since Season 6. Have they lost one of those? Who do you mean? You mean Fnatic or you mean Atlanta? Because Atlanta were unbeatable in scrims in that map. I can't remember, but I feel like they did well in the match as well. But in scrims, unbelievable. You cannot fucking... I can't remember what happened in the matches, to be fair. But in scrims, that match was a fucking write-off. When they played Anna Zen Ball, it's just over, man. It's just over. Cannot stop them. So yeah, the only question would be if Falcons were to pick them instead, but I don't know. I feel like they probably look at Toronto as a more beatable team. Again, this is the one that's like the most likely to move, right? Because again, if I've seen teams play really good in the tournament so far, then I'm probably picking all round it or something like that, right? Or if one of these teams, like, you know, Ents maybe right now Ents feel like the obvious choice, but if Ents come in and they start playing really well, then fuck, maybe I don't want to play Ents all of a sudden, you know? Like, Ents are going to be in the same group as Zeta Division, right? So let's say in groups, Ents have like a fucking nail biter with Zeta Division. It's like a 3-2 or something, right? Suddenly, once we get to then like the later picks, and I'm Crazy Raccoon, I'm probably not seeing Ents in quite the same way, you know? You think we end with the same semis either way? Yeah, so I guess if we do scores, this one probably feels the hardest, right, for Ents. This one I think is close, but I think SSG actually take this. It's weird because if these were the other way round, I think this could go the other way potentially. Like if Toronto got the SSG matchup, for example, I think they could win. Like I think there's a real argument Toronto could beat one of these teams, but I don't think they can beat Crazy Raccoon or Falcons, right? But yeah, my suspicion is I don't know if they'll get that matchup. You know what I mean? You think Toronto beating Zeta is an insane take, surely? Oh no, I think they've got it. I think Toronto are going to do really well in this event. I think there's a lot of things going for them, you know? But we'll have to wait and see, you know? You think Zeta is a top 2 team in this tournament? After the bracket is finished, we can start watching the first game. We're on course, right? You think Zeta are getting overhyped? Yeah, I mean, I think Crazy Raccoon and Falcons, like, they're just destined to meet in the finals, you know? I think they're destined to meet in the finals. But, I don't know. I think this is close, but maybe like a 4-2, a 4-3 for Falcons. And then Zeta Division over Fnatic. Probably a 4-2 as well, right? Zeta Division do always beat them. Again, maybe they lose some of the dive maps still, but they can work around that often enough. I mean, some of this as well will also depend like exactly how the meta looks go at this point. But you have to feel Zeta Division are probably more meta-proof than Fnatic, or more ban-proof, I should say, than Fnatic. And in theory, should have more firepower. Lose dive with Fearless? Yeah. I mean, Zeta Division are screwed in some kind of dive matchup because Fearless doesn't make Flora good on dive. Unfortunately. So there's really no way I think Flora can match. Actually, every single DPS player on Fnatic is way better at Tracer than Flora. So whatever combination they do, he's screwed. So I think that's the biggest problem for Zeta. But Alpha Yi? Yeah. I mean, if he can play Tracer, but then what does Flora play? Zeta also easily win any... Yeah, like, I think Zeta... While Zeta against a lot of teams in this tournament, the Western teams want to play dive, I think you're exactly right. Now, when they play Fnatic or something, they'll be quite happy to play those ones. Given Ents a map is very generous. Oh, yeah, but they can get a map, right? I think they can get a map. Because with hero bans, they get fucking Vess on Sig, mate. We'll go to fucking Midtown. Come on, they've got... Surely they've got a dog that map in them, you know? Take him to fucking Midtown and put Vess on Sig. Come on. Yeah, because you got to remember, they do get to pick map and the bans, so I think you'd be surprised. You can really screw with teams a lot on some of these map bans. You know? There's hero bans in Esports World Cup? Yes, Ninja Boy! Fuck. Someone's just turned up. Zarya beat Sig on Midtown, unfortunately. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right, sorry, Ali, I hadn't factored that in. Rack's gonna hard gap Charong, of course. Might be some cope here. I mean, hero bans will fuck up a lot of things, right? You get to pick mode, you get to ban heroes, you get to protect heroes. It'll be really hard. Really hard. I think like this is, I mean, because if you look at all of my predictions, none of them are like 4-0s, right? Like maybe we will get one, but my expectation is there is like the power of the loser pick is so much now that it does surely stop these 0-3s, you know? I hear a band's going to continue in EWCS. No idea. No idea. I mean, I guess how it goes in this event will be like a good test of how popular it is. Because I think one thing that's true, I think from the team's point of view, it's a massive fucking headache, right? In terms of trying to prepare all the options. But it does seem to promote comp variety. So the point of hero bans isn't necessarily to improve the playing experience or the coaching experience or the team's experience. I think the main point of hero bans is to add to the entertainment value, right? Oh, we're less likely to get mirror matchups. We'll see more hero variation. We'll see more comp variation. We'll see less 3-0s. We'll see more comebacks and more tactical and strategic stuff going on. More mind games between teams. Like, oh, stop playing fucking Winston, bro. So I think the test of whether hero ban should continue is how well it does from like an entertainment perspective. Each team gets one ban per map, Ninja, but you can only ban from the role once. So if team A bans a support, the other team can't ban a support, you know? Is every round of playoffs a map draft? A bracket draft? No, Sanyu. This is for last. Once we get to quarterfinals, from this point onwards, it's just a bracket, right? It's just a normal bracket. So from here, like, so these are the, like, let me do it in Excel so we can actually see it. But this is essentially the two sides of a bracket here. I put this one, a line here. So you know what I mean? So in this one, Crazy Raccoon would play SSG, for example, right? Can't wait for us to play live with Rolario on Midtown. Is it good for SSG because coaches have impact? Kind of. I think what you'll see with hero bans is there's two parts of it, right? Is there is more ability for coaches to shape the series. I think, to be fair, the bigger issue for coaches is just don't shit the bed, right? Just don't shit the bed. If they can force you into like an awkward comp and you force them into an awkward comp, all right, it's going to be a bit awkward for both sides. Let's see who plays better. The thing is, you just don't want to shit the bed. A lot of it is also going to be about how well you read what the other team's going to play. But I think while the coaches can have large influence in shaping the series, I also think that what actually happens is because you see so much more variety and different stuff going on, it's a lot harder to prepare for all eventualities. When I think of some of the stuff we maybe used to do back on London, because in Overwatch League, you would know your opponent for the week, and you'd know what fucking maps you were playing. So we'd prepare quite specifically for playing certain maps against certain teams, and we could do that because the maps were pre-selected for us. So we knew months in advance what maps we were going to play. But you can't do that here. There's so much variety, and I actually think, in many ways, the responsibility or the influence has shifted back to the players. Like, I think one team that might actually benefit in a weird way from hero bans is Twisted Minds, because the person who makes all their comp decisions, all their tactical decisions, all their gameplay decisions is Yubi, and Yubi's in the server and can talk the entire time. So it puts more pressure on Yubi to solve these problems and carry his team from like a strategic point of view. But at least he's in the fucking server and can do it, you know? I think time's going to be really limited for a lot of the other coaches in terms of this influence. What's Chips are up to? I don't know, actually. You have a scrim now? What's the meta? Anything you want, mate. Anything you want is viable. Anything you want. That seems like a massive headache for coaching. Yeah, I said it earlier in the stream as well, but for anyone who missed it, sitting in scrims this week and talking to like some of the other coaches and stuff, it's fucking hard, honestly, mate. It's really fucking hard. And I thought it was going to be difficult going into it. Like, I knew there was like a lot of stuff to think about and craft, but actually experiencing it and the variety and it's a fucking nightmare. So I'm actually really glad I don't have to deal with it. Yeah. You saw Smurf streaming DPS for 2 days in a row. There goes your hopes of him throwing 1 fight per map on tank now. Maybe he'll be in on DPS. Alright, so we've got our semi-finalists then, right? It's a Crazy Raccoon. Do I really think SSG... Honestly, I didn't prepare this, you know. Like, I'm going in blind, essentially, you know, like I'm doing this for the first time. I didn't mean to put SSG so high. But the way the draft has gone, I actually think it happened. Like, I think they beat LGD. Like, I think, honestly, like, Toronto, I think, would be the most likely team to beat SSG out of these 4 teams here. But I don't think they get the map. I mean, it depends how teams draft, right? Because there's also a world where people leave Toronto Ultra to the last team, right? And they'd rather play some of the teams that are maybe a little bit more specialized. And then in that case, we would get SSG versus Toronto in this game too, which would be like a fucking nail biter. But then, I mean, Crazy Raccoon, SSG, it's probably like a 4-2 or a 4-1. I think Crazy Raccoon and Falcons are just in a league of their own. Maybe this is... Maybe it's a 4-3. Don't know. And then is this just the unavoidable final every single time? It's just every single time, these 2 teams. In the CR versus Falcons, who benefits more from hero bans? I don't know, really. It depends, because the thing is as well, and I think this isn't your guys' fault, because I think I thought about it this way as well, is I don't think hero bans are going to work exactly how you think they will work, if you know what I mean. Like, What's a good example? So, like, often, it's not just like, we ban X hero, oh, thank God they can't play that comp, therefore we win. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Vessler can't play Sigma, we're going to win or something, you know what I mean? It can often be like, it's like the second stage that fucks you, you know? Like, I'm trying to think of an example without using, or a way to say it without saying specific comps, but like, you know how quite often there's like a triangle? Oh wait, hold on, I've erased this. Let's go here. So you know quite how often there's like a triangle of comps where like A beats B, but B beats C, but C beats A, right? And this is quite a common concept, right? Some kind of like counter pick. Sometimes they do this with tanks, but sometimes it's true with comps, and right, like rock, paper, scissors. But sometimes what happens is you ban a hero, like you just go, oh fuck, it's a really good Ana map. No Ana is allowed. But then what you actually do is by taking Ana out, you actually take something else away, if that makes sense. So like, if we use an old meta, so let's say, fuck, it's really... My point is, sometimes you can inadvertently, you break something that isn't the hero you ban, essentially, right? So, like, by banning a certain hero, you open up another comp, right? So, like, an example would be, oh, we would normally, oh, we've banned Kiri or something, so... they've been beating us on, like, a Kiri Lucio dive, so we're going to ban Kiri so they can't Kiri. So then they go Ram. And you're like, well, they've gone Ram. Well, we'll just go Mauga. But maybe we can't go Mauga now, because we would normally play Mauga with Kiri. And oh, fuck, we've, like, inadvertently taken away a count. Like, we were trying to stop and play one comp, but now they're going to play a completely different comp. And the comp we would use to counter that comp, but the fucking heroes are banned, so we can't play it properly now, or we can't play it to the same power level as it would normally be, so we don't know if it counters it as much. Does that make sense? It's like confusing, but the hero bans are confusing. It's like a lot of things to factor in. So I think there's like there's a lot of stuff like that. How much time do they get to strategize after the map's banner set? I'm not sure, actually, right? Because that's going to be a really big thing. Because I think Chris talked about this with, like, because I think for the actual bans themselves, it's going to be, like... It's going to be... You lose a map, you're asked to pick your map. You have 90 seconds to pick your map. You say, we're going to play this map. And then, from that point, you say, do you want to ban first or do you want to ban second? You tell them, we want to ban first. Then you have 90 seconds to submit your ban. Then it goes over to the other team, and it's like another 90 seconds for them to submit their ban. But 90 seconds is not a lot of time. I don't know if it's exactly 90 seconds, but it's something like that, right? Like, we're talking in, like, low numbers of minutes, essentially. So it's really hard, because you have to figure out what they're going to do, and what your swaps would be for that, and what they might swap based on your swap. You know what I mean? You've got to try and, like, figure out the entire counter-swap game in quite a short space of time, right? So that's why certain teams, like, if you look at something like LGD are the team who are going to suffer the most, right? Because what if your head coach is Korean? And what if the rest of your team is Chinese? And you speak different languages. And you have to try and have a translated conversation about some quite complicated or confusing set of things to happen in a very short amount of time. So, LGD actually need a translator to pop the fuck off at this event to help them out. Yeah, obviously the more you can pre-prepare is good. But I think the problem is the idea to pre-prepare them is good, but it's really hard, especially as you go through the series, right? Because you've got to bear in mind as well, you don't have to just consider what heroes you want to ban. You also have to consider the map pool, right? So, if we use an example, right? Let's say my name is Crimzo. Have I got a hat? Fuck, I've not got a hat. Let's say my name is Crimzo, pretend I'm wearing a hat, and I am the head coach event. And I am playing, and I want to play Sigma comps. I want Vess on Sigma. I want to play Brawl. I want to play ground comps. I want to play maps that suit that, right? But I don't like it for bold cap based. But I want to be, I'm playing against LGD, and they just want to go fucking dive, man. I don't want them to dive us, right? So then let's say first map is Lijiang Tower. Well, I don't want them to fucking dive. You can't play Winston. But actually, well, no, don't ban Winston on Lijiang Tower, because you want to save for Winston or Anna ban for maybe later down the line, right? So let's say instead they go to like Dorado or something, and then you really want to ban Winston or Anna or something, right? To stop them picking dive. So you don't want to ban it on the first map. So you have to try and think of the whole series, but it's also scary to think of the whole series, because what if they just never pick fucking Dorado? What if they pick Dorado, but then they ban Kiri or something? So then, because they've banned Kiri or they've banned Lucio, you can't fucking ban Anna because they've essentially protected it. So you were saving your Anna ban for Dorado, now you can't even fucking use it on Dorado. And now you've missed the opportunity to ban an Anna and you've just fucking lost the series. So there's like, it's really hard to pre-plan these things because you don't, unless you have like a really clear read of what maps they're going to pick, how they're going to ban and stuff, it's really hard. I think a lot more of what we're seeing, it will just be like kind of decisions as you go along, you know what I mean? Like just ban to try and win the map in front of you and then take every map as it comes. I think that's how it will go for the most part, at least. I think it's quite tricky to pre-plan the series. I think it's just ones where it's like more value than others, right? Like if I were to ask you to look at this map pool and pick out the dive maps and pick out the brawl maps, it'd be quite easy to do, right? Do the teams also pick the mode? Yeah, exactly. Yes, they do, DeBees. So you would get to pick the mode, the map, and get to ban first as well, potentially. Can the same hero be banned twice in series one? Yes, Wolfman. Yeah. So if you ban Mercy, you're not allowed to ban Mercy again later in the series, but the other team can. All these options, such potentially make me really hope you get to see it. Yeah, I think like because it's quite a compact tourney, right? No, so the order is sorry. To answer the previous one, yeah, it's quite a compact tourney, so we're going to see loads of this in a really short amount of time, which means we don't know exactly how developed everyone's approach is going to be. I think a lot of what we're going to see is going to be a little bit quite reactionary or just like ban to win the map more than anything else. In terms of the order it will happen, it will be the map will be picked first, so you'll get the map pick, and then you'll pick the ban order. So the ban order is just, do you want to ban first or do you want to ban second? And then you'll pick the bans, like which heroes to ban, and then everyone will submit their roster, and then everyone will go on stage and play a game of Overwatch. So you get the maps before the bans, so you know, yeah, so you know what you're banning for, essentially, right? So you know if it's like a high-value map to ban Lucio or to ban Dart, you know, like Flashpoint's the obvious one, right? Well, actually, banning Lucio on Flashpoint could really screw a lot of teams. Whoa, thank you, Bark. I appreciate the 5 months. Less than 2 days left. Yeah, I don't know why they've not announced it, because they announced all the other talent for like all the other games, I mean, at the Esports World Cup. So yeah, I'm not sure what the situation is. I mean, to be fair, I don't know what the timeline was for the other talent announcements. Maybe they're going to wait until they finish this tournament, right? Because is the Dota still going on now? Is it happening right here, right now? Gaming Gladiators versus Team Liquid. It's still going on. Who's winning? I'll show you guys as well. Fuck. Gaming Gladiators are going to win. Fuck. They're going to win the LAN. CS final today as well. Yeah, that's what's it called? G2 versus what's that called? Alexi B's team. Navi. So what were we saying? So that just leaves us to predict the final then, right? Just a tale as old as time. Who's gonna win? Crazy Raccoon or Falcons? Who's going to win, Crazy Raccoon or Falcons? Delete the pound sign? Oh, you mean? Oh. It's because it's my keybinds for the pen. 4-0 Crazy Raccoon? Fuck. Everyone Crazy Raccoon pilled? No, a couple of Falcons fans? I think there's a lot of reasons to be hopeful for Falcons, right? Like, because that Dallas Major final was actually really close. They won the Malcolm mirror. Yeah, they even looked like they could win the dive mirror on Gibraltar. Need to figure out if one of the team is less flexible than the other. I mean, I think one thing that is important, an important distinction to make between the two teams, is that I think technically, do I have the rosters? Let me open another tab. Wait, can I lose this? Not really. Let me open another tab. There's like two types of flexibility, right? Where are they? There's like Falcons flexibility. Where are they? So Falcons can play any comp in the game, right? I think we're all agreed. Not a single comp where Falcons would feel like they can't play the game. But Falcons flexibility and ability to play all the different comps comes with their roster, right? They have to change the roster. So they might be able to sub in Hambin to cover all the heroes Smurf can't play, but it's all based on the roster. So if they ever have to swap mid-series, it's not really possible, right? Same way if they ever put Fielder and Majid in to play double flex support, it doesn't really work. But you compare that to their DPS options, they have Stalker and Proper in the entire time. Proper can swap between hit scan and flex DPS as he thinks he suits it within the space of a map. Whereas someone like, where are they? Are they up here? Crazy Raccoon. And the same's true for Toronto, right? Their flexibility is baked into the roster. They can swap within the map as well. So they can change to a double flex support or to a double flex DPS or whatever it might be as they think is suitable. And I think that's the same with Crazy Raccoon, right? Now, most of their flexibility is within the roster. Obviously, I know they do have Max and they do play him occasionally, but they've at least got the rest of the roster has the flexibility a bit more built in, you know? CR has the same issue, no? Any Hambin mappers, you probably have Max. Yeah, true. It could be a system where they both have the same ones. Falcon should ban Tracer on Ilios. Yeah, there's no Gibraltar, but Dorado would be another good one to force him off. I think on the problem with Dorado, we could probably get away with playing a hit scan. I mean, that's also what he might do on Ilios, right? They might just play like an Ash Echo or something. Something like that. Because I think, to be fair, there is an advantage of having the players who can just play everything are really useful, right? Because how do you ban around jumping, right? Let's say you're playing against Crazy Raccoon and you don't want them to play dive because, I mean, because you're going to get fucking dove and you're going to die. So you say to Jumpin, yo, Winston is banned. No picking Winston, brother. And then he goes, well, I'm going to go Bull. And then you go, ah, fuck me. I might have made it worse for myself. Similarly, if you're Falcons and you're like, oh, you want to play hit scan proper? Fuck you, we're going to go some sort of ultra-aggressive dive comp. You're never going to be able to play hit scan. You're going to be dead on cooldown, whether you're playing Cass or Ashe or whatever. Then proper goes, fine with me. I'll go Genji. And then you go, ah, fuck, maybe I've made it worse for myself, you know? Surely you ban Bull? Yeah, but then the reverse is true, right? If you don't want to play against dive, so you ban Jumpin's Bull, you're still playing against dive. They're still playing Winston and a Brig dive. Jumpin's Winston isn't bad. It's a little bit trickier to ban dive against Crazy Raccoons than it is, say, against some other teams. You're getting a headache from this stream? It's fucking hard, Dip. It's fucking hard. There's so many moving pieces to factor in. Bull one him Dallas? Yeah, but again, you can only bull ban once. So do you ban it on Ilios? Do you save it? Fuck. It's tricky, right? Because also, what if they go first and they just ban Winston? What if they say we're going to Ilios, we're banning Winston? You have to, what are you gonna do now if you're Falcons, right? And they ban Winston, what are you doing? Fuck. The ban is once per map, Big Doll, which I think is a useful thing to bear in mind as well, because people talk about one tricks being hampered by bans, which is kind of true, you know? Like, you might be like, well, Fearless, we're just going to ban Winston. But you can ban Winston once in a series, and then Fearless gets to play Winston for the rest of the series. So while the bans are powerful, I don't think one tricks are going to be as heavily punished maybe as some people think, you know? Same with a lot of the Lucio players. Sure, you can ban Lucio, but then they get to play Lucio for the rest of the series, you know? So you can hamper him in places, but you can't just take him out of a series, you know? Yeah, Fearless isn't a one trick, but I'd say I'd feel very differently about playing versus Fearless Winston as I would playing against Fearless Doom or against Fearless Ram or something, you know? I'd be so much happier to see the latter half of those. You don't quite like that some of these heroes are only good on certain maps. I mean, it's really complicated, right? Really complicated. All I care is not to see... Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Big Doll, from what I've seen, there's a lot of variety. You might still get some mirror matchups, but what you might get is you might still get mirror matchups on certain maps, okay? Especially if both teams feel it's viable for them and their player base and their roster to play it, right? But what you're very unlikely to get is the same comp throughout a series, right? So we won't get situations where it's just like, I mean, the classic GOAT situation, right? Where it's just the same comp on every map in a series. I think that's super unlikely. If not, fucking impossible to see in this current system. Just impossible. So I think even if you might get a mirror, it's like maybe you know what I mean? Crazy Raccoon and Falcons might just still fuck like it's a fucking Winston and a mirror on Ilios, mate. What are you gonna do? This is the comp. You might still get that. But you'll see different matchups as we go throughout the series, you know? Especially because, as well, you might have pre-planned bans, right? But based on how the series goes, you might change those plans as well, right? Like, oh, fuck, we're losing to Winston all the time, or we're losing to Dive all the time. Let's try and ban some Dive heroes and force something different, you know? Hambin or Vestala? Yeah, I think I'd agree with Aegis on this one. Hambin on everything not named Sigma, but on Sigma... Vestala is actually the guy. I think that's really undeniable. So, I still haven't submitted a score. Hambin on Ram? I don't think I've ever seen Hambin play Ram, to be fair, so I actually have no idea. You really think Falcons will win? I don't know. I feel like if I look at how Crazy Raccoon have won previously, I think how they won the Asia Land finals, I think how they won the Dallas finals, I think Crazy Raccoon won by throwing curveballs, right? By pressing an unexpected hog button, by pressing the ball button, by being able to play all these different comps and all these different varieties of comps, and Falcons weren't able to adapt. And in theory, that should only be exacerbated by a hero ban meta, right? So I think in theory that should continue to keep Crazy Raccoon at the top, right? But it is also single elimination, right? We shouldn't forget that Falcons did literally beat Crazy Raccoon at the Dallas Major in the upper bracket final, right? You think KSA is the best round we've seen? Yeah, I'd agree with that, actually. Falcons with the crowd buff as well. Do you think they'll beat that? I guess so, right? I guess Falcons are like... Falcons seem pretty set to win the fucking, to win the entire thing, right? Not the Overwatch, I mean, but like the actual, the club program thing, the overall thing. I guess they did quite bad in the Dota. Or not bad in the Dota, but maybe worse than they expected in the Dota. Like they finished... What did they finish? Third in the end? The airport buff? The Crazy Raccoon flight will not be allowed to land at Sir Majid International Airport. Yeah. Sorry, guys. You're gonna have to land somewhere else. No free runways at the moment. The matches start on Wednesday, Remedy. Wednesday, is it? Where is it? It's quite early, right? Let me get off that. Maybe I lied. 1 o'clock? It's not that early at all. It starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That is Thursday, right? 24th? Can't mix up my days. No, Wednesday, sorry. Wednesday. So, yeah. So, the only other thing to decide quickly, I mean, because the bracket's quite hard, right? Because the way this bracket works out might not actually be my exact power rankings, you know? Like, I think, you know what I mean? Like, if I were to rank these teams, I think, obviously, SSG always beat Ents, right? They probably beat LGD. This game is always 50-50 between these two teams, right? So this could really go either way. Similarly, Toronto versus Fnatic, I reckon that's a really 50-50 game as well. And as much as I think SSG beat Fnatic, I think that game could go the other way as well, you know? I think so, yeah. 1 PM UTC, I don't know what 1 PM is British time. It's in my local time. So 1 PM British time, whatever that means for you. SSG beats LGD? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know LGD did previously well, or did well in their previous 2 tournaments, but I don't think they've, I think they just had, like, 2 really high peaks at the right time, you know? So you can never count them out, of course. But, yeah, I don't fancy them. Don't fancy them. I think they'll still do well, right? Like, I'm still saying they're a top 8 team. And I think if push came to shove, they probably would. I think they'd beat Ents as well, right? And against Fnatic, that'd actually be such a fun game, right? LGD versus Fnatic. Fuck hero bans. We'll just play dive everywhere, shall we? We'll just ban, like, fucking Moira and Roadhog. But I don't think we'll actually get that series, you know? Like, I don't know if that's the way it'll work out unless, you know, maybe something goes wrong in terms of one of the team's group stages. Is it like when you thought SSG would beat Falcons pre-Dallas? Yeah, I mean, I still think they can. I think it's hard. But I think what people don't realize is the gap between Crazy Raccoon and Falcons isn't an East versus West gap, in my opinion. I think the gap between Crazy Raccoon and Falcons is there's Crazy Raccoons and Falcons, and then there's the rest of the fucking world. That's what the gap is, you know? So I think a lot of these other Korean teams definitely in the more, more beatable. I mean, I think, for example, Zeta Division are probably going to finish 3rd in this, right? I think Zeta Division are still really good. My argument isn't that, like, I think the highest a Western team will finish is, like, 4th, right? And if anything, my thing is less a criticism of Korean teams and more just, I think people do overrate LGD, you know? Like, off dive, they're really not all that, you know? I don't think they've proven historically they are. And as much as people talk about the bans, like, the bans work both ways, right? Like, if anything, it's actually a little bit easier to ban dive, I think. Like, there's more ways to ban dive than there is to ban, I think to ban Brawl or Rush. The dongle go Ball. Yeah, but what if it's not a good Ball map? Isn't banning Lucio and Bap enough? I don't think so. I mean, you can only ban one of those once, right? So it's like you take him away, but if they ban Lucio, you can just play like a slower Brawl or something. Or if they ban Bap, Kiri's still an option, you know? So I think, I mean, it'll fuck them up on a couple of maps, right? But it only fucks them up on one map. So I think, like, if you think how the series will go... Where is it? This one. If you think how the series will go, there's obviously a little bit of RNG, especially in the group stage, about which map you get. But then if you can take one of the hybrids or escorts out, let's say you lose first map for whatever reason, and you're a brawl team like an Ents or something. Well, fuck, you can go to like a Circuit or a Shambali. You fucking kill Dorado from them, right? Then you can win that one. Oh, that's meant to be a tick if you can believe it or not. You win that one. They might then go to Hybrid or something, right? And they go to Hybrid. Okay, fuck. So then they might take you to like a Hollywood or Midtown, which are quite dive favored. Okay, they do something like that. Maybe they even ban Lucio or something, right? Makes it quite tricky for you. So then maybe you lose that one. But then it's like push and flashpoint, right? So then you can even pick push, right? You pick push and you say it's fucking Colosseo or something. Good luck diving on that. I mean, to be fair, dive is a little bit better now the maps are open. But, you know, you say that, you win Colosseo, and then it's fucking flashpoint. And then it's like, are they going to dive on flashpoint? Maybe not. Fuck. So even though I think a lot of the maps are quite dive favored, especially with the introduction of Runa Sappy, I think there's ways to... The way the series will actually go, it's like, it's not as straightforward. You know, like, even though, like, there's probably more dive-favored maps, right? If we were to say, diveable, 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 probably all the push are actually diveable, to be honest. Diveable, maybe Suravasa, but it's like a half, you know? I was thinking maybe instead of banning to take away from the other team, you could ban your favorite hero map so you wouldn't play them. No, to be so. While you're not allowed to ban the same hero in the map, in a series, sorry, the other team can still ban it. So you're prevented from banning any of the heroes you've banned, but the other team can still ban it, right? So if you do something like this and you ban Lucio in map 1, if they want to ban Lucio in map 5, they can still do that. If that makes sense. You're right though. That would add like an interesting level of depth, right? Where you maybe look at a certain map and you go Ilios and you go, oh fuck it, we're not going to play Lucio and Ilios anyway because it's such a dive. It's just a fucking dive map, right? So we'll fucking ban it here so they can't ban it. But yeah, it's not how it works. But I agree, it would be an interesting idea. Are the rules written down anywhere? Probably. They are, but not in a public place, I think. Just in like the briefing packs that have been sent to teams. Yeah, you're right, Wolfman, in a sense you can still ban to protect a particular role, right? So say you're playing Flashpoint and you're like, fuck me. They can't, if they ban Lucio on this map, I'm fucked. Imagine playing Flashpoint with no Lucio. I'm gonna ban Anna or something, or a Kiriko or something I think they want to play. So then they can't ban a support, so I still get to play Lucio. There's no way they can touch it, they have to ban something else. Do you think if all 4 Korean teams plus LGD dominate this tournament, then we are fucked in terms of international competition? No, I mean, one, I don't think that's going to happen, right? I think for me, the gap is Crazy Raccoon and Falcons are in their own tier, right? I think they gap all the teams in their own region and they gap all the teams in the other region. I think everyone else is like a little bit closer together. At least when we look at the other top teams from the region, you know? So I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I think other games have this situation as well, right? Like League of Legends. I don't really watch League of Legends, but it's the example people always use of one that is like EU and North America don't really exist once it comes to Worlds, you know? They just go out in groups or don't get very far. Do you think they'll actually take the hero out of the pool in games so you don't... Yeah, so it's quite easy to do in lobby options, so they should just do it in the lobby options. Because it's so easy, like, as in scrims, it's so easy to forget. Because you want a difference between West and East. In Western, if you have a Western person hosting the lobby, the heroes will be banned in the settings, so you can't accidentally pick them. If you're in an Eastern lobby, they'll get written in chat at the start of game, and you just have to fucking remember. Just fucking remember. Why have you gone fucking Tracer? Pause. My fucking idiot DPS has swapped Tracer when it's banned. Fuck. So, you know, just a classic West versus East gap, unfortunately, in terms of lobby hosting. Is Space Ranger going to be allowed? No. No Space Ranger. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. It's true. It's really easy to accidentally pick the hero. Also, you got to remember there's certain things as well now. I think for players won't register, right? Like, you know, when players do the spawn swap to get out of spawn faster. So, you know, you swap to Genji, you dash, then you swap back to Echo or whatever you're going to play. That sort of stuff is really hard. Like, you wouldn't even register your swap into that hero because you're not swapping to that hero. You're just doing, like, the spawn tech. So having it disabled in game is a must, but I'm sure they'll do that. At least we've got them beat out lobby hosting. Exactly, Fredo. Like, honestly, unbelievable. Fuck me. We're playing... Who are we playing? Playing Crazy Raccoon. They start the lobby. Chris wasn't there because Chris was on flying later day. Crazy Raccoon is like, we need... You guys host for lobby. You guys host for lobby. They know we've gotten beat on that front, so... we'll take that honor. We'll take that honor of the lobby gap. Do you think Entz's backline right now is an upgrade from Ghost Massa? Yeah, I actually think it is. I think Massa's probably a better Lucio than Rack. Like, but I think in terms of like Brig, Rack is better. Rack's obviously got, I guess, more of a life weaver on him than Massa does. And I don't think Rack's Lucio is that far behind Massa. I think Rack's actually had a very good year. As much as he maybe gets like shit on in a lot of occasions, I think he's like lots of players who have a period of time where they're on like a Paris type team or just a shit Overwatch League team sometimes get labeled as just like a shit player or something. I think this is something that maybe happened to Lyre as well, and they just get maybe overly criticized. I think he's not like the best main support of the event or whatever, right? But I think he's really solid on Lucio. I think Sky is better than Ghost on pretty much everything that isn't BAP. So I think, and Sky's BAP is okay too, you know? It's not like he's that bad at it. So I think Sky's an upgrade, and Rack is maybe like a side grade. Sorry, I'm behind on questions now. Do we get to see very uncommon hero get playtime? Yeah, we do. I've seen so many weird comps this week, so I think if you want to see variety, if you like variety, if you like different comps or unexpected comps to be played, you will 100% see variety. I think maybe I've jinxed it now, but I'm pretty certain we'll see fucking variety next week. The lobby admins are gonna fuck it up so hard. No finish aura. True, they have lost all their finish aura, right? They need Vest to carry, mate. You put Vest on Sig, it's maybe enough. What are the odds we see a Torb? It's not impossible. Yeah, we did. Yeah, Wilder's right. We did literally see it today in the fucking cup. I mean, Bleed will probably be the Torb guys, right? Play a bit of Diva. Diva cast Torb was a bit of their go-to, right? Vest is 90% of the aura. Just put Vest on Sig, mate. Have him hit every rock. When other days for matches? They start at 1 PM BST, so 1 PM British time. And that's the first match, and they, especially groups, there's a load of games, right? So groups is going to run all fucking day. So we get 2 games at 1, and then we get 2 games at 4. Oh wait, sorry. 2 games, I've missed some. So there'll be 2 games, so 2 time slots. Then another set of games at 4, that's 3. Another set of games at 5:30. Another set of games at 7. And another set of games, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. Well, 6 time slots, 12 matches for the first 2 days of groups. So if you like Overwatch, fuck me, you're going to get to watch some Overwatch. Don't worry about that. You don't think Master can handle that many games? Fuck. I mean, to be fair, it's going to be a longer day for the viewer number, because for the teams, you play 2 matches one day and 1 match the other day. So you only play 3 games, and 3 matches over 2 days isn't that bad for the teams. But as it's the spectators who need the stamina. The teams will be okay. Don't worry about the fucking teams. They'll be fine. Think of the co-streamers. Think of the co-streamers. I'm going to cover 12 games in back-to-back days. Where's the sympathy for the co-streamers? Yeah, but that's because he didn't eat. I think most people can't handle 1 or 2 matches if they don't get any food. Are you going to need at least 20 Diet Cokes? Yeah, fuck. There's gonna be me. There's gonna be me going up to the catering department saying, "I need a fucking give me an ice bucket and as many cans as you can fit in this bucket." Are you gonna watch the games you miss? I don't know. So there's a few things I was considering. Because if we look at this is the schedule, right? And this is the schedule. That's maybe the most important bit. Because once we get to the group, like the knockout stage, it's just going to be 1 match at a time, right? So we're just going to watch 4 matches on the Friday. That'll be chill. Again, that actually starts at 2, so an hour later. Then we're going to watch 4 matches on Saturday. Also chill. They're all best of 7s, right? So it'll be a lot. And then we're going to have 3 matches on the final day. But this is all really easy. We just watch the games 1 at a time. These games, fuck. We're going to have to, did I say best of 7? Yeah, best of 7 for all these. Yeah, all of these ones are best of 7 in playoffs. All these ones in groups are best of 5. What's the pro scrim meta looking like? A bit of everything. Bit of everything. I think, yeah, we'll see huge variety. I think Diva is probably more prominent than she was at, say, Dallas or something. A way more viable option, and she has been in probably quite a long time in reality, right? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Prosto. But yeah, for these games, I need to figure out what I want to do. Because Crispy said Crispy's going, but obviously won't be playing that much. So I might get Crispy on and we could do like a Soccer Saturday thing where we're watching 1 game and maybe we go between rounds and Crispy is there, maybe in the same fucking room, watching the other game, and then Crispy's like gives me his fucking gives me his cammy update of like, yeah boss, just watching this game. It's been a pretty timid first half over here in the second game. Soccer, so yeah, but the show's called Soccer Saturday. Gillette Soccer Saturday. And maybe that's only a thing in Britain, actually. I don't know if that's like, maybe that doesn't translate. Wouldn't spend 5 days with CX for 5 trillion quid. I'm good company, mate. We'll have a nice time in the little booth. But it should be good. So yeah, I think what we'll do, because sometimes if we look at some of the matches, right? So let's take the very first match of a tournament as an example, right? And I was to ask you, should we watch Toronto versus Gaming Gladiators, or should we watch Crazy Raccoon versus Rock? You guys would all tell me, the fuck are we watching Crazy Raccoon versus Rock? Let's watch Toronto versus GG. You know? Sometimes it's really obvious what game we should watch. We will not be watching Crazy Raccoon. These are the sort of games we give to our Cammy to go watch, you know? He can go check out that one. But there are other ones where it's more complicated, right? So let's say, for example, right? This is the last game. This is the last game of groups, I'm pretty sure. Or the last set of games for groups. Is that true? Yeah. Yeah. What the fuck do we do at this game day? At this time slot. SSG play Fnatic, presumably for the first and second seed, but VP are going to play Nightmare for the fucking split screen? Fuck. Split screen? Will it not just be shit, though? Watch both at the same time? Well, the other option is we watch one, and then we, go back and watch the other, right? Nightmare is the formerly called Timeless. It's Seeker. It's Seeker's team with Zera and Z's and Admiral. Picture in picture, a little. Put one full screen and switch during the breaks. Yeah, I guess if I just have 2 scenes, right, where I have one big and one small, I can do it quickly enough. Wouldn't Nightmare win because of pure aura? Don't know. You'd watch I mean, yeah, I think SSG and Fnatic would be the obvious one still, but it's a shame to miss the other game, you know? Are Nightmare still going? Yeah. So I only saw the updates on Twitter, so I don't really have any behind-the-scenes information or anything, but while their flight was cancelled, they've been booked onto another flight, and they will still be attending. Alternate between maps. I mean, we can always change mid-series, right? If we think it's going one way or the other, you know. Because to be fair, it's really only Group D that is the hard one, right? You know, like if I look at this Group D, would you rather watch SSG versus Nightmare or Fnatic versus VP? You like how it's like I could see a case for both games, right? Because the ultimate answer is I'd want to watch both. Neither. We're feeling very differently about this matchup, it seems. You think they're both going to be bad? Fuck. Yeah, I mean, that might be one of the ones where we start on one series to see how it goes, and then maybe check out the other series, see if it's close, you know? Netty sent him a 40k check. For what? Just like the sponsorship? Just like a one-off payment for sponsorship? What's the law here? Why'd they get the check? Do I think esports is on the rise? Not really. Not really. I think it's just going to kind of like carry on as it is, I think, for a while. Zeta versus Ents will be good. Yeah, I could see it. I think especially with like the loser picks map and mode and hero ban, could force him in some awkward directions, right? Admiral versus his old team. Yeah, true. Oh, let's see. Netty's Overwatch management team sponsors once again with a $40,000 check in advance of their Esports World Cup trip. The video was posted to the official Overwatch account on Bilibili, the first they posted since 2022. Oh, wow. They just gave it to him? Just here's a 40 grand check. There's a vlog too. More never gonna win the Esports World Cup. Whoa! You know what is quite fun about the prize pool? I kind of realized this as I was making my video. Is like if you come last, obviously you don't get that much money, which seems reasonable. But if you get out of groups, you double your money. And then if you win the round one, you double your money. And then if you win that game, you double your money. And then if you can believe it, right, you win that game, you double your money. I mean, if you do that, you fucking 250% your money. Fuck. Exactly, yeah, like it's actually win a game, double your money. Kind of like those odds, you know. Do you think LGD will try force dive? Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that, because what we've seen, or what I've seen so far from, like, the hero ban practice, is there's so much chaos and variety. It's really hard to prepare for. It's really hard to have a clearly defined meta for the most part. That, as a result, lots of teams are just going their own way, you know? There's so many different things to consider, opponents and all of this. Now, actually just play your own fucking shit for the most part, you know? I think if you try and follow other teams, it's a lot scarier than maybe it was in Overwatch League, right? In Overwatch League, if it felt like a couple of teams had established a meta that was really hard to beat, copying them wasn't that unreasonable a thing to do, you know? But here, I think it's really hard to do because it's interesting because when I'm in the scrim and we ban a hero and obviously we have a plan, we're going to do this because we expect them to do this, so we stop them doing that and we can do this, cool. But then they'll ban a hero and then they might do something else So having a read on the other team is super hard. And it's really easy to get it wrong or they're thinking something else. Yeah. So I think going your own way in terms of what you're going to play is way more reasonable and being very, very flexible and willing to adapt. What's this? Kaluja's locked in. Spectra says Kappa. When did he post this? Today? Oh, wait. Yes, last night. Last night. Fuck. Kaluja's locked in, but Spectra is locked out? Fuck's sake. Come on, team. Can we not just try all at the same time once? Can you not ban monkeys so they have to go Doom, which is much weaker? You can, yeah, but you can only do it for one map, right? And then the bans only last for the length of the map, you know? So you can only take it away from them for a little bit. So there's lots of situations with the map pool, like if you look at it from like how a series might actually go, is, oh, we're playing Ilios. Well, I don't want him to dive, so you can't Winston. And then later in the series, you're playing fucking Hollywood, and you're like, oh, I wish I wish you couldn't fucking play Winston on Hollywood, that'd be nice. And then you go to Dorado, and you're like, fuck me, I wish you couldn't play Winston on Dorado. And then you go to fucking Runasapi, and you're like, my god, I really wish you couldn't play Winston on Runasapi. Obviously, if that happens, you probably fucked up a map draft at some point as well. But, you know, there's like, there's a lot of options. There's like, it's going to be interesting to see how the series actually play out in terms of who gets more access to the comps they want to play. Yeah, you got to remember as well, like, say, if you're smart, what will happen is if you take away Winston from a team, right, say a dive team, and they want to play Doomfist instead, what that dive team might do with their ban is they might ban a hero that you'd normally want to play against Doom, right? So let's say you ban Winston, and you're like, haha, he's gonna have to dive on Doomfist instead. But then, what if they ban Kiri or something, and you're like, oh fuck, now what are we gonna play? Are we gonna play fucking BAP or something instead? Bit harder now all of a sudden, you know? Or that doesn't match with the rest of our comp or something, or it's just not as good on this map. So you got to be careful sometimes, because if you ban to sabotage, essentially, you also leave yourself open to be sabotaged too, you know? So it can go both ways. It's basically a choice between attack and defense, right? If you ban, let's say you want to protect Winston, so you ban another tank, what you do is you leave your supports and DPS vulnerable, you know? Who bans first? So the highest, to begin with, the highest seed gets to pick. Oh, you can. Yeah, I'll just leave my bracket up while we're here. Is my camera in the way again? There we go. What was I saying? Just trying to line this up. There we go. What was I saying? Who bans first? Yeah, so for the first map, the highest seed will get to choose who bans first. So they can choose to ban first themselves, or they can choose to ban second and let the other team ban first. And then from then on throughout the series, its loser gets to pick the ban order. So again, they could choose to ban first or ban second. I think for the most part, we'll see teams banning first primarily, because it means you can also you also get your choice of what to ban, but you also get to protect a hero. But sometimes you might ban second if either there's no good heroes left to ban or no obvious heroes left to ban. So you let them ban first, you see what they're going to do, you maybe get a bit of a read for what they're trying to do, and then you try and ban that, you know? You think Ents will 3-1 M80? Yeah. Is that what I wrote? let me refer to my previous prediction. Yeah. So yeah, 1 ban per role per map. Super dumb smart. So like if team A bans Lucio, Team B can't ban a support, you know? Do you think? Yeah, I think they should. I think as much as... The one thing we know for sure so far is it's a fucking headache for teams, right? That bit, I think, there's probably a consensus on that. What would be interesting is what it actually does to the matches and the product, right? So when we watch the Esports World Cup, do we see less roles, less 3-0s or 4-0s? Do we see more comebacks? Do we see more variety of comps? And all of this. So I don't know exactly what the decision making would be, like, because the problem is, how do you measure that, right? How do you measure how entertaining something is, right? Like, people, I guess you just go on like vibe, right? What's the kind of noise on Twitter or Reddit or whatever? Are people enjoying the games more, or do they seem more hype? All of this, right? You get a bit more interaction than you normally would. But it's maybe hard to pin down, right? So I could see him adding it if it's successful. I mean, one thing that has been true of the Overwatch esports team so far is they have been fairly open to changes and adaptations to the system as we've gone along, right? How are playoffs seeded? So, where are we? Oh no, these are all broken now. Fuck. So the way playoffs are seeded is everyone will play the groups. The first in the group goes through to the quarterfinal. The second goes into round 1. And then the second place teams get to draft from the third place teams. So the second place teams draft from the third place teams to give us these matchups. And then after we get the winners of these teams, the quarterfinals, well, the quarterfinalists will pick from those 4 winners and draft again. So round 1 and quarterfinals are drafted. And from the quarterfinals onwards, we're just in a normal 8-team bracket. So with my bracket in mind, I've sort of like we've tried to guess who we think will pick who, you know, as well. Unrelated to Esports World Cup, do you think Juno was viable in OWCS or well, as like, is it? I actually don't know. I have no idea if it'll be meta or not. Obviously, because the hero's not going to be at the Esports World Cup, so I've not really seen any scrims or matches or anything with it, you know. Did they change the rule for picking from the same group or not? I actually don't know, Vanish. The way I've done the bracket is presuming in round 1 you can't pick from the same group, but in the quarterfinals you could. That's what I presumed, right? But I don't actually know if that's true. That's just how I That's how I presumed it would go. Did you misspell raccoon in your sheet? Actually, nice try, Sager. Nice got your moment attempt, but actually somebody made this sheet for me, and they misspelt raccoon. And then when I wrote it myself, I spelt it correctly. Nice try, but I come out on top, as always. Wouldn't SSG be in game 4 if they finish first? No, they'd be here. So, because the way it's seeded, the way it's seeded is, I've presumed this as well, but I'm pretty confident of this one. Is that we'll get like the first and fourth seed here, and then third and second here, or the other way around, like second and third. Wait, which one's right? Wait. There's 2 season raccoon? No way. No way. Since when? Well, feels like I celebrated too soon on that one, right? Celebrated too soon. You didn't know? No. I mean, let's be honest, right? Yes. Turns out the egg is indeed on my face, Sager, and you win this round. But in my defense, right, here's the cope. How many times have you had to write the word raccoon in your adult life? I mean, to be fair, a lot more recently since Crazy Raccoon signed an Overwatch team. You're pretty sure they're both correct. Wait. Basic Noodle? Is Basic Noodle about to pop off? Wait, should I Google it? What if I type in this one? Fuck, it really feels like 2C's is correct. You had me on for a moment, Basic Noodle. One's just more common? Wait, let me delve into this. How do you spell raccoon in the UK? Fuck! Fuck me. Let's go into the Oxford reference. Oh, please subscribe to access this content. It's got both! It's got both! It's got both! I'm in the clear, actually! I mean, we're both in the clear, right? It's a score draw. It's just a score draw. That's just a handshake and a score draw. Well, there we go. Sure, yeah, the team name has two. Now, I understand, but you can see how I could literally have learnt to spell the word this way, right? Does it matter? Why doesn't it matter? Because the argument isn't whether I'm right or wrong. The argument is whether it was an unreasonable or a dumb mistake or not, right? But if there's just two ways to spell the word, and I've just spelt it the way I need to spell the word, I mean, it's a mistake. Agreed, right? It's a mistake. But it's understandable. You wouldn't spell fanatic as fanatic? Right, no, because that's a different word. It's just not, that doesn't hold up an example. No, yeah, I agree, Fork. I'm still wrong. The argument isn't that I'm right. The argument is about whether it's reasonable or not. And I think, of the fact that you can spell it both ways, I mean, it's an easy enough mistake to make, you know? Hey, Turtle. Not reasonable? Well, unfortunately, you have to try and convince me it's not reasonable. But I am so it's reasonable pilled. So it's reasonable pilled. Preschool argument? Exactly, Sager. Thank you, Juby. Finally, the voice of reason turns up. Now, if anyone is gonna be if anyone would be willing to call me on my bullshit, it would be Juby. So the fact that Juby has said it's reasonable is actually just fucking definitive. Just definitive, because Juby would not hesitate for a second to call me on my bullshit. Not for a millisecond. So I think I'm in the clear. Juby's a mod. I have a gun to the back of her head. That's not true. I think Juby works of her own volition and the kindness of her heart. So, as much as we could obviously rage about the spelling of words for another 3 weeks, I reckon, I feel like that's about it, right? There's not a lot more to do, except lock this in, see how wrong I get it, and wait for the games to start. I'm going to have a preview video coming out, which is maybe a more concise version of my thoughts on the teams and how I think they'll do. That'll be coming out on Monday, hopefully, at some point. It'll be quite a long video, but it'll all be timestamped, so if maybe you're a bit more interested in my thoughts on the Falcons than you are about, say, The Greatest Showman, you can skip and jump around as you please, but that should be out Monday. And that should hopefully be a pretty definitive guide. Also, if you're unsure of any of the rules, I do sort of cover the structure and the format there. to try and get a bit of an indicator. Obviously, hopefully, I feel like I've covered most of it today, but I think that'll about do us. And then the next time I'll see everyone will be in from Riyadh itself. I don't know exactly what the setup will be. But I think especially for the group stages, we'll try and get maybe Crispy or anyone else who's free to jump in, hop on quite a lot. We'll try and catch up with a load of the players because everyone's going to be there, right? The days will be quite long, I think, because there's so many games. So we'll try to get through as many as possible. Is the Toronto Defiant here? Yeah, the Toronto Ultra for the event, but the exact same team, same organization, just a rebrand for the length of the tournament. You saw in a dream that Toronto Ultra winning? Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're winning, but I think Toronto Ultra will do better than maybe people expect. I know people are maybe not too hot on them after the Dallas Major, but I think they'll do quite well. Maybe even top 4, you know? Obviously, I know we didn't predict that, but it depends how the drafting goes, right? Why did they change? I actually don't know why they changed. Top 4 is impossible? I don't know. I could see him beating like an SSG or something, right? Like Toronto SSG is always... All the old scrims we watched were always 50-50, right? Could Toronto beat a Zeta Division? Maybe that's like a tougher ask, but I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible. Be an upset, I'll give you that, but it's not impossible. So then, I think that does us. I'm gonna be humbled again when Korea loses 0 maps. Yeah, I mean, I've looked at it again. I mean, obviously, I can see different results in terms of first, second, third, fourth, depending on how the draft goes, because it's singular limb, the draft is going to influence it massively, right? You know, like, I don't think Twisted Minds match up very well against Toronto, but Twisted Minds might match up quite well against Ents, right? So if they get the draft goes differently or something, maybe Twisted Minds end up going further than you might expect or something, you know? You never know, right? You never know. Brother, Zeta is like the 3rd best team in the world right now. Agree! Agree. That doesn't mean they can't lose a game. You do not think TM are beating Ents? Okay. Yeah, I think that was pretty much relatively open information that UB and KSA had internal problems within the team. Real wants to know Zeta are the 2nd best team in the world. You're so biased, Juby. So biased. Only if Zeta had a better off tank. Oh my god. I think, like, Juby might kill you. Juby's gonna kill you. Fuck. Nobody let Juby read that. Nobody let Juby... Oh my god. Nobody let her read that. Fuck. You fucking set her off now. Set her off now. Honestly, the level of fandom GB has for Zeta Division, coming here and saying something like that about Bernard is actually the equivalent of inciting violence. Like, it's at that level. Yeah, how long is 1800? Should we do the math? Fuck me. What is it? It's like an hour? Longer? Half an hour. This is a burner protection stream. It was actually so good as well, because it was like subtle enough to go around it like, oh yeah, they just need a better off tank and I think they'd be better, you know? Alright. Before anyone sets Juby off though, should we find someone to raid? Should we find someone to raid? Otherwise, you can't time out Artemis? Fuck. Yeah, who should we raid? But yeah, thank you everyone. Like I said, stay tuned to my YouTube if you aren't already subscribed or anything like that. I'll have my full preview video coming out there, which will be like a more concise version of a lot of the stuff we talked about on stream so far. Well, one thing I should say actually is we are looking for additional volunteers, because does anyone remember the comp database? Where we keep track of all the comps from all the different teams. I want to do the same thing for the Esports World Cup, but obviously it's going to be quite hard because there's going to be so many games happening so quickly, so it's going to be hard to keep on top of it. So if anyone does want to volunteer to help keep Nat up to date live, that'd be massively helpful. If you do, just drop me a DM on here or on Discord or something. But other than that, yeah, check out the YouTube video when it comes out on Monday. And then I'll see you live from Riyadh for some good Overwatch. Wait, what's this? Burner is considered a subpar off-tank due to several key shortcomings in his gameplay. He often struggles with positioning, frequently caught out of place, and failing to protect his team effectively. Additionally, his lack of effective communication and coordination with the main tank and other team members lead to disjointed engagements and missed opportunities. His ultimate usage is also inconsistent, sometimes being poorly timed. Alright. Are you streaming on this channel? Yes, this channel. This channel still. Yeah, I'm going, mate. I'm going to be co-streaming live from the event. So we'll get coverage of all the games, and hopefully it means we can bump into maybe a few familiar faces or two. Get a few guest appearances on the go, which will be nice. Who do we want to go to, though? Did someone say CGL? What's the channel name? Are they live right now? Right here, right now? Let's see. Hybrid. Was it Lucio Ball? Do you want to go watch the Lucio Ball? Fuck yes. Maybe I want to go watch the Lucio Ball. Fuck. Alright. Thank you, everyone. I do appreciate the support. Everyone joining. Even if some of you don't know how to spell raccoon, I appreciate it. I'll send you over to CGL, and I'll see you all live from Riyadh. Thank you again. Lots of love. And I'll see you all very soon.